Beautiful day here in the city of Port Elizabeth, the coastal city of Port Elizabeth. South Africa versus Australia. Must win for South Africa in this second of 3 ODIs, a series of 3 ODIs. No change to the South African team. Smith under pressure to make some runs. In fact, the top 6 under pressure to make some runs. They have not provided enough runs throughout this series, and when I say that, I include the 2 T20s as well, because that one of those was won by the tail enders of the South African team. Graham Smith very much in the hot seat. He's not had a great run of form. There's a lot of talk in the papers and the media and around the country. An experienced individual, as is Hashim Amla these days, the South African captain. Looked in quite good touch, but has got run out at Newlands, which is always a pretty lousy way to get out, I must say. So we haven't really seen any of the top 6 really put the opposition to sword as yet. Stunning conditions, other than quite a blustery wind, and it's going to be Doug Bollinger who's going to have to run into it to start with. And sitting next to me, somebody who's fairly used to running into the wind when he played, former South African all-rounder, Lance Klusner. Welcome, Lance, and good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jackers. Good afternoon to everybody catching the game. I'm very excited about this one, I must say, Jackers. It's a do-or-die game for South Africa, and certainly for them to get off to a good start, we're going to need to see a platform up front. Those 6 batters that you spoke about earlier are going to have to put their hands up today, set a good platform, which will then allow people coming in towards the end to play with more freedom.
Umpires Richard Kettleborough from England, as you saw just now, and Sean George from South Africa making his ODI umpiring debut today. So good luck to him as well. He'll have butterflies just the same as any player does. In fact, talking to some of the more experienced umpires, they're always nervous until they get into the game. The game's about to start. Out, leading edge, first ball. Dear oh dear. Straight back, dolly catch, and what a start for Australia.
Well, Dougie Bollins just banged this in. He's just trying to feel his way, as is Hashim Amla, as the ball maybe just stopped on him just a little bit. And he's just grabbed a little leading edge back to Doug Bollinger. Hashim Amla hanging around, maybe just going to check whether Dougie Bollinger's foot was indeed behind the line. Looks okay to me. Looks like there's a half a centimetre or so, and that's all you need.
Well, sensational start this. The very first ball, that's just not quite used to the pace of the pitch. Turned the bat a little early. These big, thick edges always going to help the ball back to the bowler. Amla gone for 0 for 1. South Africa's champion cricketer comes to the crease. Morkel Kallis, and my goodness me, he is a champion cricketer. 11,000 runs, over 11,000 runs in Test cricket as well. Add nearly 300 wickets in both those formats of the game, and you've got a fairly useful all-round cricketer, haven't you? And by goodness me, do his side need him right now? Second ball of the game, he's at the crease. Bollinger to bowl to him. Urgency from Australia already, and you would expect it from them anyway, but when you get a wicket off the first ball, just accentuates that. Here's the wicket.
See it quite often here at St George's Park. Ball maybe just stopping a little bit. Hashim Amla just feeling his way. He's turned his wrists a little bit too early, and it's the leading edge back to Dougie Bollinger. The worst of starts for South Africa.
Ground pretty full already, if not chock-a-block. There's a few seats up at the duck pond end that aren't full as yet. Good innovation earlier on. The crowd could come early, and the World Cup rugby final was on the big screen. Congratulations to New Zealand at last. I think they didn't have it all their own way, and South Africa aren't having it their own way either in this contest between these two great cricketing nations so far. Certainly outplayed in the first one, and a bad start in the second. This might be a bit of a problem. Bale's just blown off. Get a wicket early on, Lance. You can almost afford to run up and bowl that width, can't you? That tempting width.
Especially to a guy like Morkel Kallis, who didn't really get his feet moving too much in the first ODI. Might be a plan to get Morkel Kallis driving away from his body, not getting his foot to the pitch of the ball. So I'm sure that's what is going through the minds of these Australians.
Away, South Africa away, but 1 for 1 after 1. Sad sight, 1 for 1, 1 over gone. Amla, first ball of the game, caught and bowled Bollinger, looking to just knock the ball on the onside, short of a length. A little bit early with the shot, leading edge, dolly catch back to the bowler. Mitchell Johnson. Never quite know what you're going to get with Mitchell Johnson. I've seen him be absolutely devastating, and I've seen him get the radar wrong from time to time. I guess because of that, it's not that easy to bat against him. A wide guy here and a wide guy there, then suddenly a whiz-bang ball. 2 slips, 3 in the covers, third man. Mid-on, mid-wicket, and fine leg. Early season and a certain amount of rustiness. Lance was just talking about Kallis' dismissal in the last game.
Just doesn't get his feet moving early on, Morkel Kallis. And if the ball is going to nip around, as we know, it's 2 new balls, so one ball does stay new for a little bit longer. And if you're not going to move your feet, cover your stumps early on, you'll find yourself in trouble.
It's interesting, that little hop after being bowled, that little adjustment to keep his balance indicated that his feet weren't in the right place in the first place in order to be balanced. It's very rare. You need to pick up probably one of the better technicians in the game today. But it's all to do with early season, all to do with not enough time at the crease.
Can be guaranteed that Morkel Kallis has put a little bit of work in between the time he was out at Centurion Park until today. He'll be making sure that he'll be trying to get his feet to the pitch of the ball. It is a big issue for Morkel Kallis, especially early on, and if he can do that, we'll see him living up to those wonderful records that he has there.
Pulled away, and that will go halfway up the stand. Well, not quite, but far enough anyway. It's not a shot you see him play all that often. He played it well enough then.
this is a good shot from Morkel Kallis. As you said, Jackers, not his favourite shot at all, but he's got enough of it. He's rolled his wrist, it's caught high on the bat. It's into the wind on that side, so he's got a fair bit of it, and it only just has to go over the ropes, Jackers. Doesn't matter how far it goes, it counts, maximum it is.
I didn't realise that you knew that, because he used to hit it a lot further than that. Oopsie, what happened there? Brad Haddon having a bit of work to do with that throw-in. 34 years old today, Brad Haddon. Happy birthday, old lad. Beautiful.
Well, you can get that from Mitchell Johnson. You can be full and wide. The end of the over, 11 for 1 South Africa.
Necessarily getting out to it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Finishes yet another over with a boundary. 17 for 1, 3 gone. And here, another classic drive from Morkel Kallis. It's about balance, isn't it?
Holds that blade so beautifully along the line as well. That for me is the brilliance of that shot, is that Morkel Kallis has just held that blade along the line of the ball.
Away, just one more. The pitch is brown. It's a sandy colour. It's got no grass of any real nature on it. What is there is stone dead.
This side for Kallis, you reckon?
Obviously, grass, good grass cover adds a little bit of pace to a pitch. So.
There's a stiff breeze blowing today, no clouds to speak of, and that does dry out the surface that much more.
Spot there on Graham Smith's bat, and you might be able to see a hot spot on that one as well. Another fabulous shot. We've seen a cover drive, we've seen a hook shot for 6, we've seen a straight drive, and now off the back foot, backward of square like a rocket.
This is a good shot. Morkel Kallis on his toes, giving himself some extra height. He's allowed himself to get on top of that, and that's got all the pace it needs to get past point to the boundary.
Well, just add that to the repertoire. 31 for 1. It's the last ball of the last over. Just sweet timing, isn't it?
That's the shot of the match really for me. He's just waited for it. Ball on off stump, but it's full of length, and Morkel Kallis just rolling his wrist.
Yeah, good illustration that of how when Kallis came in, the run rate was good, lots of big building blocks, and now past the edge, close to the edge. Yeah, he's got his troubles with the pitch. Certainly it's a difficult surface to make the running on.
Delivery going across the left-hander, but the problem is their foot movement. There's just none. Feet are stuck on the crease, playing away from the body. That's never a good idea.
And just striking up. They're going to try and get South Africa going. Good single from Graham Smith. Rotate strike.
Also, what we do know about Morkel Kallis is he does sometimes start like he did today. His boundaries early, but then towards the middle part of the innings, he does slow down a fraction, and that's when the other batsmen need to step up and support him and assist him, because otherwise it can happen that during the middle phases of the innings, the run rate drops too quickly.
Well played and well fielded as well. Really good hand on that and good running. Fantastic work by Kallis and Smith. It was Jacques Kallis who initiated it. He saw the piece of fielding, saw it was a fumble. The ball was headed to the boundary for 4, intercepted, and then because of the fumble they managed to get back.
Initially it was a good stop, fine leg in the circle. Doherty doing the fielding. But it was good running. They ran the first one quickly, which is the secret.
Good shot. It was up and he just lifted it over the infield and it's straight back past the bowler. It's for the Jacques Kallis.
It's been excellent today, Jacques Kallis. He's pounced on every scoring opportunity. That one was one of them. It's a fraction too full. Kallis was onto it in a flash. Right, that lofted on drive quite beautifully.
Good over for South Africa then. 8 off it. 49 for 1. So power play done. And an opportunity then for Michael Clarke to spread his field, to bring his spinner into the attack, and he does so straight away. Xavier Doherty was very good at Supersport Park. That's a look at his record. Good economy. 4.61 and takes wickets as well. Slip in place.
Yes, please.
Because the surface is so dry, it'll be interesting to see if he gets any turn.
The spinners generally do well here in Port Elizabeth and they like to play here, so he'll be relishing the conditions. 50 up for South Africa, and it's all been done by this partnership between Graeme Smith and Jacques Kallis.
Jacques Kallis doing the bulk of the scoring. He's been in excellent form so far. Opportunity for Graeme Smith now to spend some time at the middle, especially getting through the initial new ball. Now the spinner's on, so he's got an opportunity to just knock the ball around, build back his confidence back up. Exactly like that. That was just too full by Doherty.
Is it about that for opening batsmen? Just get through that first phase, the opening bowlers, that a spinner comes on, get into the middle part of the game?
Most definitely. Quick single, well run by Jacques Kallis, a quick early call. Oh, absolutely. It's always a relief if you get through that initial 10-over spell where the shine is on the ball and the ball is moving around. So once you get through that, then you feel in control. It's just a look at that bowling action. Doherty's.
He's good enough as well, Graeme Smith, to find the gaps, to be able to maneuver the ball into those gaps when they are presented. Because the power play is done, there's 4 fielders in the circle, 5 fielders in the circle with the slip.
Yes, please.
53 for 1. South Africa in a good partnership here with 53 from 65 balls. Wicket went on the very first ball of the match. And Hashim Amla, the man to be dismissed. So good rebuilding by Jacques Kallis and Graeme Smith.
It's not that easy from a bowling point of view with this blustery breeze that's blowing across the ground. So when you bowl, it does disturb your rhythm at times. Certainly doesn't assist you in swinging the ball, because it's not a calm, even breeze. It's a blustery wind, so it does make it tough for the bowlers.
Yeah, I was worried you called it a breeze first up. You said blustery breeze.
There's a boundaries for Port Elizabeth.
Good running. It's tough work bowling with the wind. Sometimes when you're going down the hill as well, and there is a wind and it's blustery, you can overrun your mark, so to speak. A better problem that though than having to run into it and struggling as it pushes you backwards or doesn't push you now and again. Fantastic shot. A stretch of the arms and it met the middle of the bat. That ball and rolled along. From the time it left, you knew it was all the way for 4.
Second one through that area for Graham Smith, so he'll feel a lot better about this. In the middle of the bat, the timing was good, so not necessarily the feet movement yet that he wants, but he did the work with his hands, getting them through the ball.
Is the call. Will he get back? Oh, gotta hurry. Well run. Very well run by Graham Smith.
So good positive running from Smith and Kallis. Not a bad throw either. That's into the wind, so plenty of time for Graham Smith to get back for a second.
Played one earlier in the over, Graham Smith. That is time to perfection, and this time better movement with the feet as well. 4 runs.
Excellent stroke this. Graham Smith played that nice and late, and his timing was spot on. The gap at extra cover. So he'll feel a lot better about things after the 3 boundaries through that offside area.
Change of pace. Well bowled, good direction as well from Cummins. 12 off that one, 65 for 1. Oh, huge shout from Mitchell Johnson and also from Brad Haddon. I reckon they'll take this. It's a huge wicket if they get it, because it's Morkel Kallis on strike.
Question is, will the pitch in line?
They're unsure. There's a consultation between skipper and keeper, and in the end they decide against going upstairs. It'll be an interesting one to see again in an arena where you've done well before. Here's a look at it again.
Oh, was half the ball in line or outside? Looks like just outside. So pitching outside is the call. Good umpiring decision there.
Yeah, brilliant decision.
Got that away nicely, and that's 4 runs. Well played. Afternoon, Tom.
Good afternoon, Mike. Terrific shot by Kallis. He's looked very good as soon as he's walked to the crease today, and he's played shots all around the ground, and on that occasion sweeping and sweeping square. There's 2 fielders out there, but he picks the middle.
15 overs gone, 75 for 1 at this stage. Nice little recovery here from South Africa at this stage, and we have the bowling power play. Just a reminder, that's one of the changes in the playing regulations. In the old days, I guess most teams would have wiped that out by now.
Yeah, they certainly did, and that's the reason for the change. They wanted to get it out of the way as quick as possible, and they felt straight after 10 getting that 5 out of the way, the bowling power play out of the way, was the best option. Australia opting to take it as early as they possibly can, which is the 16th over.
Which means they're only allowed to have 3 outside the circle. Australia have 3 at this stage. Mitchell Johnson now. It's from well outside the line of off stump. That's the way that Smith plays. He certainly looks more controlled today.
Graham Smith has looked good today. He's played some lovely shots. He's hit the ball well through the offside, which is, Mike, I'd imagine is a good sign for Smith if he's driving well through extra cover. He's played a couple of lovely drives through extra cover, so he's looked more composed at the crease.
Slowness of the track has obviously helped that a bit. Single to Kallis. Now we're just going to have a look at something about Graham Smith. Now, this is quite interesting. This is Graham Smith in one-day internationals and also in test matches since November 2009, specifically facing left-arm seamers. And what does that tell you, Tom? There's 2 distinct areas there.
Well, obviously the ones that are very close are the ones where he's getting caught in front, so he's either getting caught at the crease, LBW, or bowled, and we saw that in the last game where he found himself bowled. Sorry, the 2020 match he got bowled, but the last match was LBW to Bollinger. And the other ones that are there are very wide of off stump.
A little bit of aggression in the middle. You expect that from the Australians. They've got Smith in their sights, there's no doubt about that, and they have had for a while. Smith has played well against them in the past, and there wasn't too much giving in the running between the wickets between those 2, the big frames of Graham Smith and also Mitchell Johnson. Smith realised that he had to just dart away at one stage. Johnson just holding his line, which is okay, you're allowed to do that. And a little bit of finger pointing.
Be a good contest, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. By the way, Mitchell Johnson within his rights to hold his ground. Now going back to Graham Smith, you mentioned, yes, correct, the dismissals, the LBWs, the ones who are in line with the stumps, but then there's that worrying area outside off stump.
Yeah, look, it's just the line that's wide, and I think one area that Smith has battled with, particularly against left-arm overs, is the fact that he gets his hands and his bat well away from his body, and he can hang them out to dry, is a term that we use in cricket, and he can then end up chopping the ball on, which we did see in one of the 2020 matches in this contest against Australia.
Most of the dismissals well away. Oh, here's a mix-up, direct hit is gone, misses. Almost enough time. Mitchell Johnson can't believe actually that he missed the stumps there. Almost enough time, I think, to get it back quickly over the top of the bails and send Smith on his way.
Well, this would have been a big wicket. Both these batsmen are well and truly established. Kallis calling Smith through and Smith not going initially.
Absolutely enough time. Wow, should have just lobbed it. Michael Clark screaming in to try and tidy up.
Yeah, just under pressure. Mitchell Johnson opting for the wrong option, and that is to throw the stumps down when he had someone there just to lob the ball to.
Single to round off what was a very eventful over. 6 runs coming from it, plenty of action. 81 for 1. So 16 overs gone now. This has been a very interesting game so far. It is the second of 3. It's one that South Africa have to win to stay alive. They lost the peaceful warrior in the first over. A man who's been on the sidelines for a while. Shane Watson is back in the lineup and delighted, no doubt.
Yeah, look, no player likes to sit on the sidelines, and he had a little bit of an issue with a lower back or a glute muscle. It is a strain, and he was really not far away from being fit for the game before, but the Australians erring on the safety side. Clearly a very important player.
47 now, Morkel Kallis. He's played superbly today. Averages 49 at this venue. Outstanding numbers throughout his career. Whipped away on the leg side. So just to complete the story with Graham Smith against the left-handers and left armers, I should say, and how tough it is.
Yeah, we can see the line of dismissal. We talked about the straight ones, and they're the ones that have crept through and either got him bowled or LBW with his hands being well away from his body. And because he generally does get his hands well away from his body, he either leaves exposed the outside edge or the inside edge. So he's either chopping the ball back onto his stumps or he's nicking it towards a slip cordon that are ready and waiting.
Now he's got himself a real chance.
Clearly teams know they can't afford to bowl too straight to Smith because he is so strong through that leg side. He's such a wonderful player through wide, mid-on and mid-wicket. He scores a lot of runs there. Really good release position from Shane Watson to see him bolt upright.
Just think these ultra motion cameras are absolutely sensational. Shows you everything. So Smith is on 30, on strike again. So he's now been there for almost 20 overs. He'll be feeling more comfortable. He was very dark, of course, when he got 24. And dismissed at the Wanderers in the second T20. So he's got a real chance to capitalise now. High of about 23 degrees today in Port Elizabeth. Kallis is on 49. Good stand, this one. Had in the birthday boy back with Smith on strike. You might have heard the call from Smith of two, but he's a big frame. Just the one.
Two big frames out there. Kallis is a big man as well, and he's a big man in many ways, not only physically but in the game itself. He's a wonderful player, terrific all-rounder, and I think at times he doesn't get recognised for how good he actually is as an all-round package.
There it is. One more run for another 50. What a remarkable cricketer this man is. Sensational stuff, but he will know only too well that he's only just started today. It's about senior players delivering. They will know that change room. They've got to get up today to level the series. Magnificent record. 100th score of 50 or more in one-day internationals for Morkel Kallis. Only the third player after Tendulkar and Ponting to do that. 83 50s, 1700s. Sensation. 17 overs gone, 86 for one at the moment. Morkel Kallis has just gone to yet another 50 in one-day international cricket. 57 balls, 6 fours and a 6. He's played nicely.
He's a wonderful player. He's so strong all round the ground. He's presented the full face today and driven nicely down the ground. He's taken full advantage of anything short. He's a great example of that full face of the bat being presented.
Giving himself some room and slapping that through the offside for 4. That is an outstanding stroke.
Well, Smith on this occasion using his feet and also giving himself a little bit of room to access that offside. The mid-off's up in the ring, extra covers in place, but he just did a little shimmy down the track and timed it perfectly.
Would have faced each other a lot, of course. Watson to Smith and the nets, I'm sure, for hours and hours and hours at the Rajasthan Royals. I would imagine that Smith would have enjoyed that stroke. Why not?
Well, it's good cricket by Graham Smith there, taking a little bit of a risk early in the over, using his feet, getting a 4. The very next ball, just running it down the third man and getting Kallis back on strike. Kallis pushing for 2. It's not going to be there. Mitchell Johnson running around quickly. Yeah, just to pick up on that, or expand on that point, it's very important in a partnership that you have those type of situations arise in a partnership where you do identify in times to get boundaries but very quickly rotate the strike. Both these players are very experienced. Also helps being a left and right hand combination.
And this stand has got them in a healthy position at this stage. The stand is worth 98. 6-0 from here, 286. Nice and fine. It's going to go for 4 and bring up the 100 stand. Brilliant stuff from a couple of senior pros to South Africa.
Well, an edge that beat third man, but Watson's gone down on his haunches. It's hard to tell exactly what's happened there, but he is looking very, very ginger. It may well be his back. I don't think it's a leg injury. He was just grabbing onto his back, or it could be that hip injury that's just flared up again. This is a significant incident in this match because Watson obviously kind of played an important role not only with the remainder of his overs but also with the bat. So Watson's going to leave the field, and there's real concern now in the Australian camp. The physio Alex Contreras has come to the boundaries, now met Watson on the field.
And this brought up the 100 stand. 102 the partnership between these two at the moment. That's exactly what Clark and Ponting did in the last game at Supersport Park. Really has been good stuff, just 112 deliveries. So that's a solid blow, 100 stand, and from South Africa's perspective, obviously the loss of Watson in the attack, as we see him now just pull up with that hip issue. It looks like it could well be exactly what kept him out of playing the last couple.
Morkel Kallis is going to finish the over, just 1 ball remaining. One thing to consider, Hazy, is that with the new ICC rules now, Watson cannot have a runner when he bats.
Good point, good point. So it's a double whammy. Confirmation of that stand. Still plenty of overs left. 1 ball shy of completing the 19th. The run rate is getting very close to 5.5, and the important part of the equation at the moment is the fact they've still got 9 wickets in hand. Clark to finish the over. He's going to have to bowl that one again.
Between Clark himself and Stephen Smith, they'll get an opportunity to bowl.
It's the only options, really. So single off Clark's, what ended up being his second delivery. That's the over, 13 from it. That was a big one for South Africa. 104 for 1.
Crowd getting a little bit more festive by the moment. There's reasonable support too for Australia. There's no doubt about that. Bollinger 3 overs, 1 for 18. Johnson 6 overs for 28. Cummins 4 overs for 24. Watson 3 overs with 5 balls, 0 for 20. Doherty 4 overs for 17. And Clark, who finished that over for Watson, just the 1 ball for 2 runs, one of which was a wide. So he actually bowled 2 balls, but not recorded as such now. Bollinger changes end from the Park Drive end to the duck pond end, where I don't think there is a pond any longer, and hence there isn't a duck. However, historically known as the duck pond end. There wouldn't be any frogs there either. And a miss from Smith.
Doesn't do much. Just misses it. Simple as that. There'll be a few little nerves around Graham Smith. He hasn't got the half century for a while. He knows he's been under pressure. Played really well so far. So we want to get to that milestone.
That one as well. He just hopped across outside off stump then, and Bollinger did well and bowled it even wider. If he stayed with the same line, Smith would have been able to work that away on the onside. Did I see that ball swing a little bit, or only after it's gone past the bat? Either before nor after. That's his 50 for the 44th time in one-day internationals for South Africa, and this ground stands and applauds him, and it's very good to see. He's taken some stick during the last week or so from media and sundry, and a few people in one or two of the grounds. He's worked really hard throughout the week, and now he has some reward. Well played, Graham.
It's the only currency that batsmen deal in, runs. Graham Smith's been short of them. As Robin, you rightly point out, he's been under the cosh from various people around the world, many in his own country, and it shows the character of the man. That he's able to rise above it, reach a half century for his country, and knowing him, he won't believe he has enough. He scores, he likes to score big.
It's good running if he gets in, but ball not gathered in by the fielder. 116 for one.
We all thought that he's not that strong through the offside. He prefers the leg side, but he's hit some magnificent strokes, and predominantly through the offside. Graham Smith, very well played 100, a very deserved one.
Last time he got himself a 50 was 77 against India in January. Oh, he sweetly hit that. Goodness me. Almost as if he said, I think I'm going to hit that there, and did so.
So often the sweep slog is one of brute strength, but Morkel Kallis just times it. Bang! Away she goes.
Genuine nick. It's going to bring him 4, is it? Yes, it is. Handy couple of balls for South Africa.
Here's a little turn. I mentioned that earlier. Doty again gets a little bit of turn, but Kallis just tries to open the face a little bit and knock it into the hole, the cover for a single. And with the turn, finds the outside edge. Another valuable boundary to South Africa. The important thing about the 50 is not only in the context of this game, but with the Test series just around the corner. And Graham Smith, the captain of that Test team, that it's important that he finds some sort of form before it begins.
Good over for South Africa, 11 from it, 127 for 1. HD's just spoken about. He's got that through extra as well. Down the wicket, just shimmied inside it slightly. Completely different Graham Smith we're seeing here. We're seeing an offside, strong Graham Smith.
The important thing is early on in his innings, he didn't try and hit too many through the offside when the ball was bowled at a good length. He was happy to get onto off stump and try and work the ball through his preferred leg side, the onside. But now, as the innings has progressed, he's hit a few half volleys through there. He's now happy to hit the ball on the rise as well. So the confidence is coming back.
Oh, he's had a little bit of luck here. I don't know if he's hit it. We'll have to watch to see if that's not buys. Yes, I thought so. I think he hit over the top of it. And it went straight along the ground to beat Haddon.
Smith's line to the left-handed Graham Smith will be of outside off stumps. He might every now and again just catch the footmarks of all those bowlers that have been bowling over the wicket from the park drive end. Hence a little bit of inconsistent bounce.
It's not your favourite shot, Graham. It's not your favourite shot. I suppose the previous delivery we have to put down as a potential stumping chance, being that the batsman was out of his crease when the ball went past the keeper.
That's an astute observation.
Well, it was a very difficult take, wasn't it?
It was. It certainly was. You know, standing up to anyone is tough. For a leg spinner, whether he's going to bowl a googly, he could be bowling a flipper, a slider. I'm not sure Smith's got all those deliveries, but it can't be easy for the man of the gloves.
Just looking at that wagon wheel of Graham Smith's just earlier on for his 50. This is his scoring areas in Cricket World Cup 2011. You can see the huge amount of runs scored through the onside. 21%, 26% in front of square on the onside. It's not your shot. It's not your shot. They're saying, oh, they're going upstairs straight away. Straight away, reverse sweep from Graham Smith. Haddon's convinced. Remember, they get one review per innings, so they must be very confident.
Front foot fine. Elbow fine. From that picture, they'll probably be looking to see if it just runs off the top of the glove into Haddon. Both Haddon and Smith very well, they were convinced, weren't they? Difficult to tell.
Well, it's not hit anything else. If there's a noise, it hasn't hit anything else. And it is, I can hear something very tiny in my ear, but it's certainly hit nothing else. Just flicked it, has it just flicked that glove? I think it's just flicked the back of the glove. Here, Kallis asking for everything. I've got a funny feeling this has just hit the glove. There we go. Evidence. I think Ian Gould is he wants one more look at the hot spot. Nothing there yet. There it is, and then as the just nicked off the glove. I think Graham Smith is going to have a decision altered here. Decision is made. Very thorough examination from Ian Gould. He wanted to see absolutely everything, and he wanted another look at the hot spot to make sure. The bottom line is, I don't think the reverse sweep is Graham Smith's shot, to be honest. I don't know what you think, HD.
He'll know there were far better options. What is he looking for? Graham Smith 157, South Africa 142 for 2.
Jean-Paul Duminy comes to the crease, another left-hander. He's been successful at this ground, averages 50 in 4 matches that he's played here. His overall average is 40, which is useful. Strike rate of 85, which is useful. South Africa need another innings from him. The wicket taking over, 6 from it, 142 for 2. Oh dear, got away with it. Thought that had gone straight up in the air for a minute, but whoa, now there's trouble, Got away with the initial one. Australia are ecstatic. Kallis, I think, knows he's gone. And this is just what South Africa didn't need, and precisely what Australia required.
Cardinalson for a batting side, losing 2 wickets in quick succession. Jacques Kallis trying to get through for 2, well short of his ground. Direct hit from Michael Clark. The big man who they rely on so heavily to back through an innings if he gets in is definitely gone. It was a good partnership. The partnership was ended by an indifferent stroke by Graham Smith. Now some indifferent running from Jacques Kallis. Jacques Kallis is gone. Run out, direct hit from Michael Clark for 76. South Africa 143 for 3.
Faf du Plessis, the new batsman.
Francois du Plessis averaging just over 30. The position he bats in, I suppose, 31's not too bad. You would probably expect to be around 35, 36 in the middle period where you expect to just run it around. But some indifferent running from Jacques Kallis. It really didn't look as though there ever was 2. He knows he'll be very disappointed. He played quite beautifully. 2 big wickets in quick succession put South Africa on the back foot, and Australia well and truly back in the game.
Didn't even require a direct hit. It was far enough out for the keeper to have had time to take the bails off as well. So complete misjudgment as to how far the ball had gone behind the stumps. 144 for 3.
And deciding where they will want to get to, South Africa. Now there'll have to be communication between du Plessis and Duminy. Projected score says at the current rate. That's a beautiful shot. Absolutely fantastic use of the feet by Francois du Plessis, and he gets 4.
So good about Faf and the spinners is that he uses his feet so well. Quickly down the wicket to the pitch of the ball. Just eases it through the covers with the spin. It's a top shot.
Yeah, I'm on about the communication between the batsmen and where they want to get to. Current run rate gets them to 257. Sometimes teams can aim too high, can't they?
Well, we normally say that after 30 overs you double it, and that gives it over 300, but let's not forget it is quite tough to score out there, and these batsmen would have chatted about that, and I guess anything over 250 they'll be reasonably happy with.
Oh, got him! Decided to use the feet once again, but ran past one. Faf du Plessis, after smashing one along the ground for 4, has got to walk back to the change room. A breakthrough by Doherty.
It's the commentator's curse. We were just saying how well he does shimmy down the wicket. He's down the wicket again. A bit of spin, maybe looking to play that ball just a little bit too square, running past it in the end.
157 for 4. South Africa 157 for 4. Francois du Plessis making his way back to the change room, and in comes David Miller, just 22 years old, 15 matches for him, 150 to his name. This is why he's out there. The blade opening a whole lot, and the ball, well, sliding past. Great work it is by Xavier Doherty. 5 runs at a wicket. 158 for 4. 2 to Dumini, 1 to Miller. Partnership desperately required by South Africa. Australia will be very happy. Oh, what a shot. Brilliant stuff. David Miller has just walked to the wicket and absolutely no trouble smashing this for 6-second ball.
This is what he does. He's a confident young man. The ignorance of youth maybe, but he's down the wicket. And it's a tough shot. But certainly David Miller likes to assert himself early on. He's done that. Drag down. It's a good shot from David Miller to open his account.
Oh, goodness. Absolutely no trouble, just smack 4. Well, 6, excuse me. And there'd have been words, no doubt, from Brad Haddin. And also skipper Clark, who's at slip. Dumini on strike now.
Dougie! Back 5 down, watch!
Oh, bit of a problem between skipper and fast bowler mid-on. Trying to put him not quite all the way to the boundary, but not on the circle either. Were you a dozer in the field? Did you doze off?
Yes, I did, Tom. Yes, I was a little bit of a dozer, my friend.
Catch it was the call. There's a bit of a sound, perhaps a bottom edge, but it's gone all the way for 4. No, nothing on it, says Richard Kettleborough. So 4 byes.
JP Dumini doesn't miss a lot of those. They're just pitched in the foot marks. It's played over the top. Beaten everybody.
Look at the sweep a couple of deliveries ago. Nope, nothing on it. Nothing on the bat, certainly. Gust of wind interrupts Steve Smith as he runs up to bowl, so has to start again. Good over for South Africa, 11 off that. 169 for 4. Fall of wickets. For Australia, they'll be very happy. They've come back into this game in a big way. The partnership between Smith and Kallis just had South Africa going along beautifully. And Clark and his team are desperate for a wicket. And it wasn't just one that they got. They got a couple in quick succession as well. And then add to that Xavier Doherty sending back Francois du Plessis. A bit of turn, he's had turn all day. Into his final over, 1 for 42, and he's bowled half of the final one.
It is a tough time as a batsman to come in and to try and knock the ball around. There just isn't any pace, so you end up hitting a lot of fielders and having to scramble ones and twos and just getting what you need. You find your boundaries are normally shots that you have to hit over the top, so it is a tough time, especially if you're out of form a little bit. Having to work the ball around a little, trying to get fielders back where you can then run a single. It is tough times if you're out of form. Trying to get yourself back before the early season.
Inside the line. Oh no, it's not. They're given out, and straight away it's been asked for by David Miller. Sean George thought about it, lifted the finger, and Miller said, "Please go and have a look, ump." I wonder if he's hit it. He was up straight away. As a look at the no ball, no trouble with that, well within. Is there a scratch on it? Does he touch it? Can't tell from there. Can't tell from that. Certainly can't tell whether there is a touch or not. Hotspot will tell us. Oh, hold on. Yeah, unsure if that's some evidence there. So he's asked Sean George to reverse his decision and give Dumini not out. And with that, 33 overs have been, correction, give Miller not out. 33 overs have been bowled. It's 171 for 4, and it's drinks.
Should add another 100 runs at least, I would imagine, from this position. 4 down. The track is one that's certainly not testing for the batsman. 1 or 2 deliveries of a variable bounce. And one of the reasons for that is that we have a batting power play that needs to be taken before 40 overs, and it's being taken right now.
Always is a tricky time for the batsman. We see so often in the batting power play, you expect it to be an advantage to the batting side, but so often you see wickets fall during this period. Often the batsmen get it wrong, thinking they've got to do more than what they actually need to do. They still need to play proper cricket shots. So Mitchell Johnson has been brought on to take on the responsibility of some of the overs during this power play. He'll be looking to bowl full and change his pace as well. He's got that very good off cutter, which has gripped into this surface. Clark very careful with his field placements. He's got strong offside field. The third man is up in the ring. There's a backward point, cover point, and an extra cover. A mid off in place, that's the offside field. And on the leg side, deep mid on, deep forward square, and a deep fine leg with a mid wicket in on the ring. So Johnson looking to bowl straight.
No one protecting the offside boundary. That's a bit of a test first up. I think it might have been a little bit of connection with the pad, and that's going to run away nice and fine for a couple. Brad Haddon's been tested a bit today. The wide has been called, so Mitchell Johnson's going to have to bowl that one again.
Yeah, a bit harsh on the birthday boy. Brad Haddon's birthday today. Haddon turned 34 today. Mitchell Johnson, we've said in the past, times would be testing for the keeper. He does get the odd ball flying down leg side or wide of off stump. As he's shown throughout his career, he's got the ability to take wickets. He does bowl those wicket-taking deliveries.
Beautifully played, no one there. That is a magnificent stroke. Beautifully timed by David Miller.
Well, this is a wonderful opportunity for Miller to really stamp himself in this South African lineup, and that shot is a shot of class. Johnson just giving him a little bit of width, but just controlled through the offside, not looking to overhit the ball, keeping a terrific shape through the shot.
So just to clarify, only 3 fielders allowed outside the circle in this block of 5 overs now. That's going to get the skipper thinking. He's decided he needs a sweeper on the offside, so he's brought fine leg inside the circle. This ball is harder. Of course, 2 new balls at the start of the innings. It's going to be crisper off the bat. At this stage, normally at Port Elizabeth, the ball will be quite soft. It wouldn't be white anymore, to be a brownish colour. But this one is pretty good at the moment, and we could see some runs here, Tom.
Absolutely. Well, South Africa got themselves in a very, very strong position. They have lost a couple of wickets in concession, but they've set themselves up nicely. Big responsibility now on these 2 at the crease.
Quick single taken, that's good running again. Good buzz between Miller and JP Duminy. Of course, we do know, and I think all of you who've followed the one-day game over the last few years know that some teams have got themselves in a real spot when the batting power play has been called and lost wickets, to the extent where last season, for those who watched South Africa play against India, India just lost wickets all the time, and in the end they didn't even bother to take it until they had to. It's nice and fine, and 4 more.
Well, this just makes it so hard for the bowler when he's got 3rd man up. If he gives any sort of width, and you've got a player like Miller that's clearly in and seeing the ball well, just opens the face of the bat. Only has to beat that short 3rd man by 2 or 3 metres, and it will race away for 4.
Just at 131 k's per hour, that last delivery. Early in the over, he's bowling around the 140 mark. Clever stuff. A little bit of leg side that time, and that's going to run away for another boundary. So this over is certainly getting away from Australia.
.17 off this over so far. So Miller doesn't need to do anything silly with this last delivery. He just needs to maybe push a 1 into the gap. I'll be very happy if it's 18 off this first power play over. This occasion, Mitchell Johnson just overcorrecting his line, getting far too straight and tailing it down leg side.
Miller wants to come back for the second. 22 years of age and makes it easily. Terrific over for South Africa. 19 from it, 195 for 4. That is the first over of the batting power play. What a terrific one it was for the home team. Normally sides would think, okay, batting power play, we need to go to around about 8 or 9 and over, I guess, these days. And that is a great start. 19 off the first. 8 from here per over gets over the 300 mark. And that again is going to help the cause. The line is astray at the moment for Australia.
Well, leg buys on that occasion. Patrick Cummins just getting 2 straight again. He's clipping the thigh pad of Duminy, racing away. It's interesting you mentioned about, and I touched on it as well, the fact that a lot of teams haven't really got the batting power play right. They lose wickets, but now South Africa have got such a good start in this batting power play. They need to be smart, because wickets in hand are going to be important as well.
24 runs now for the first 8 deliveries of this batting power play. Brings up the 200.
ideally for South Africa if both these players, Dumini and Miller, are still at the crease with 10 overs to go. So after this power play, they can really have a serious run at a very big total here.
It's quite interesting, Tom, also, because as we look at the projected 8 and over, 309 from here, 6 wickets in hand, that's important. It's quite interesting as well because South Africa, and we saw obviously in the last T20 game at the Wanderers, Rusty Tehran doing some serious damage to the bat. He's not playing. Parnell also not playing. Nice and fine again, another boundary.
Well, this is another very good shot by Miller. Intentional. He's opened the face, the ball going across him. He's looking to beat third man, and he does it very well. Third man's quite wide. The extra pace of Cummins allows the ball to run away very quickly.
South Africa in the process of finding a couple of batsmen in the middle order who are supposed to be the finishers. These are the two guys that they've identified. They're both very fine players. Stand of 47 now between them. Dumini 23 balls for just 7 is quite interesting, and David Miller 27 off 18 balls. So these two guys need to bat deep for South Africa. That is the formula they want to play with. Work on the leg side boundary again. The other thing, Tom, is no Watson at this stage of the innings.
Yeah, Shane Watson in his 4th over pulled up very sore. I believe it's lower back spasm. He's off the field. He went immediately off the field and walked off very gingerly. So that's a big blow. So whether he's going to bat or not is a huge question mark. And if he does bat, he can't have a runner. So he'll be looking to hit boundaries if he's capable of doing that.
News from the change room is that we are unsure at this stage if he is going to bat. That is the official statement. They'll be hard at work on him. So this will be a real test for young Pat Cummins, who's been absolutely sensational since he arrived on South African soil. Mitchell Johnson's been going at just over 6 and over from here. Pat Cummins just under 5.5 throughout this game. Conditions certainly favouring the batting side. No swing on offer due to the breeze. I'll call it a wind. Scrambled through for 1. A dozen runs off that over. Another good one. 207 for 4. Bollinger to start the 41st over. His 6th. Good connection, first ball, slightly short, slapped away on the leg side for 4. That's a good way to start the last 10 overs.
Well, David Miller looks a very good player and a player that's in form. He's only young. Must be very, very exciting for South Africa to have a 22-year-old come to the crease and command such presence. He's driven well. Now anything short, he's just jumped all over. Bollinger's warm-up ball goes to the boundary and goes very quickly.
This is the business end of the innings. This is where things can certainly make a massive difference. This last 10. Death bowling is such an important skill these days. Not too many people in the world get it right. Of course, they'll be set back by no Watson. South Africa struggled in the last game of the death bowling.
Well, South Africa's going to get over 300 if they stay 8 and over, and that's where they should be. If we're to be really honest about where they're positioned now, they should be getting 8 and over and reaching that magical 300, which would be a tall order. You just pick up on your point about death bowling. There are very few people that do it well in world cricket. And, one of them is Malinga. He is so far ahead of everyone else. It's you can see daylight, and you think with all the 2020 cricket played now, and obviously with 50 over cricket as well, you'd have certain bowlers in every country just really focusing and specialising in that particular skill.
We're going to be having a bit of a closer look at some of the work that Malinga does in the change of innings, and also mapping what Australia are doing with their death bowling in this innings, and a little bit of a comparison. It is quite remarkable the practice Malinga does. I mean, you've seen it, Tom, with I guess there is old cricket boots he puts on the batting crease and just runs in and hits them all the time. With that low action of his, it's, oh, there's a misfield. So we complimented their fielding, and now it's going a little bit pear-shaped. Scrambling these extra runs, and I wonder how valuable these are going to be if you add them on to the extras, which have been excessive.
Well, Clark won't be happy. You know, the most important part of the innings, you need to be tight, you need to be disciplined in the field. Smith just overrunning that. Normally got very good hands, normally a good fielder, can field most places on the ground, but disappointing.
Didn't lose a wicket in the batting power play, scored 46 runs. That's the first after the batting power play. Goes for 8, 230 for 4.
Pat Cummins coming back into the attack. He's bowled pretty well in the T20 matches and in the first one-day international, but he's found it going a bit more difficult on the slow surface.
He's shown that he has plenty of variation. He bowls a good slow ball, bowls a nice slow ball bouncer as well. So there's plenty to work there for us with Cummins for Australia.
So there it is, David Miller gets his second one-day international 50 for South Africa, and it has been an excellent innings.
Came in at a difficult time. The loss of Francois du Plessis. Needed to put together a partnership, did Miller and Duminy. Miller's been the aggressive one. He's 50 coming off just 43 deliveries, and he's hit the ball as sweet as anyone else has today.
It's taken the pressure off JP Duminy as well, because JP Duminy has struggled. Duminy's got his 22 of 40 deliveries, no boundaries.
It's made it difficult really to assess the real pace of the surface, because you've got one guy who's hit the ball quite well and another one who's just nudged and nurdled it. So where's the true pace? He's nearly chopped that on as well.
Does bowl a good slow ball, Cummins. This was a very good change of pace. So very nearly dragging that one onto the stumps, JP Duminy. Off the outside edge, and that's going to be first boundary for JP Duminy.
Mid-off up in the ring for Pat Cummins. Duminy looking to be aggressive, looking to go over the top. Needed to be a little bit aggressive. The outside edge, the ball flew off, went nice and fine. The boundary's been a long time coming for the left-hander.
Slow ball bouncer and another boundary, back-to-back boundaries for JP Duminy. .250 up, 44 overs gone, 250 for 4.
David Miller, his last time he got 50 was against Zimbabwe. Stroked to the wicket in tough situation, and he hit the ball sweet. All parts of the wicket, and some deft touches, some beautiful cover drives, and also was very aggressive on the pull shot. A well-deserved 50.
Will be disappointed. He hasn't had a particularly good day. behind the stumps.
Well, this is so unfortunate for the Australian team because Michael Clark has actually pushed mid-off back, brought fine leg up into the inner ring, and an inside edge takes it away for 4. So fortunate runs for Miller.
Career best for David Miller now. Well, he's lucky there. The length was good by Dougie Bollinger, but the line was too much leg side, particularly with fine leg in the circle.
Partnership now between Duminy and Miller, edging ever so closer to that 100, just 98 they got.
Partnership came at an excellent time as well. South Africa just lost wickets, lost their momentum a bit, and David Miller changed all that.
He did change it, and what was impressive about him is very, very early on, Michael Clark felt that Australia were back in the game, and he brought in a more attacking field, brought mid-off, mid-on up into the ring, and immediately Miller took on the leg spin of Smith and hit him back over his head and transferred that pressure. So it was a gutsy play, but it's worked to perfection for him.
There's good captaincy as well at the time by Morkel Kallis. He had every justification to think that they're back in the game and he could smother South Africa. Should be a couple. And he's 45 overs gone, 258 for 4. Sloppy fielding. Seen too much of that from Australia. They're pretty high standards, but we haven't seen a great fielding display from them today.
He was sort of ambled round the boundary, didn't he? Didn't really look as though he had that intensity that we've got so used to seeing. And with the way that the two South African batsmen have run between the wickets, the fumble was all they needed to get through for a second.
Another comfortable single. So Mitchell Johnson to the left-handers. He was trying to attack off stump to Graham Smith in particular. He was with too much leg side. Another misfield. So problems for Australia. They're going to have to really raise their game with a bat later if they want to win this one. They haven't been at their best by any means.
Miller with mid-off up in the ring. He's looking to go through that offside or over the top. With the angle, it's difficult for him. Single to third man for Duminy will bring Miller back on strike. He is the more aggressive of the two.
JP Duminy needs to look to unleash as well, because South Africa have got 6 wickets in hand, so it's unlikely that they can get bowled out. So both him and Dave Miller need to look to maximise the 4 overs that will remain after this one. Good delivery, full and straight. So that's just going to be the one. That's Mike Hussey. He doesn't make too many mistakes in the field. So 46 overs gone, 264 for 4. Hasn't been quite so easy for Pat Cummins today. Made an impressive start to the T20 matches and the first one-day international, but found it more difficult on this surface. Well, it's nicked it, so that was a big nick, pretty straightforward. David Miller's innings comes to an end. It was a good one and a valuable one.
Trying to give himself room again on the leg side. Tries to free his arms. The outside edge is found. Haddon does the rest. Cummins strikes. Miller gone for a very, very well played 59. South Africa 264 for 5.
Mark Boucher comes to the wicket. Not a great deal of time for him to get too much done today. South Africa need to try and really get on with it with just under 4 overs remaining. In a very good position. 300 is definitely on. And Boucher's here because of this.
Miller and Duminy both looking now to be aggressive, and Miller gave himself room outside the leg stump. Just a faint outside edge.
Straight away, Mark Boucher. Comfortable 2 down to fine leg.
He's a little nervous down there. Mark Boucher at Supersport Park, making his comeback into the ODI series. Because the game didn't go very well for South Africa, but I'm sure he'll be a lot more settled now. We know he's an experienced campaigner, but it just shows you that when you've been out of the game for some time, his nerves can still be around.
Then when they're not around, it's probably time to stop. Sometimes the older you get, the more nervous you get as well. The innocence of youth is sometimes a blessing. It's predominantly leg side, Mark Boucher. So now the onus on JP Duminy. He's been there for a while. He hasn't really got going as far as run rate is concerned today. He's made a valuable contribution, but he hasn't dominated by any means. It's a good shot. Comfortable 2 again. Boundaries needed for South Africa now.
I imagine that maybe boundaries are required, or South Africa might be of a school of thought that they don't want to just collapse in a heap and end up being bowled out or 9 down for 280. And they feel maybe that if they just not get some 2s and 1s and the occasional boundary, that they can get close to that 300 mark. And you know, if Australia chase that down, they'll have to play really, really well, because not many times that total's been chased down at this ground. So it'll be interesting, their school of thought.
Another fumble, this time Michael Clark. You don't see that very often. 47 overs gone, 271 for 5. So just 3 overs left now. Dougie Bollinger is back into the attack. He's got 2 left. Full delivery we talk about to Mark Boucher outside the line of off stump, because he's so strong on the leg side.
Mid-off still up in the ring for Bollinger. He's still struggling a little bit to find the middle of the bat. Gives us an indication that surface is variation in pace.
Noticeable as well that Australia, they're not really pitching it up to JP Duminy. They're preferring to go short. There's a good reason for that, because he's often had problems with the short delivery.
A little bit of a compliment needs to be paid to him as well, because it'd be so easy for a batsman when struggling to middle the ball to just throw it away. And he knew that South Africa required a partnership. They'd just lost Kallis and Smith when he walked to the wicket, and then Du Plessis in quick succession. So he hung in there and did a good role while Miller played well.
Should be just the one. We had a similar situation early in the innings as well, where Jacques Kallis played absolutely beautifully, took a lot of pressure off Graham Smith, who was struggling to find the middle of the bat. But Kallis took pressure off him, allowed him time to find his feet. So that was the partnership that set things up for South Africa. That's very well bowled. Full and straight. Just the one.
I think as a group altogether, they've been a lot more impressive than what they were at Supersport Park. And granted, the more cricket they play, the better they will get, because they've had so little of it over the course of the last 6 to 8 months. The feet movement's been better. The urgency between the wickets has been better. It is called. Boucher gave himself room on the leg side. It was a poor delivery from Bollinger. He thought he'd got away with it.
Well, he's got no room to complain, because that was a definite wide, and it was a poor ball as well.
Clark knows that one of the top order from Australia, they're going to have to get in as well, because his total's a good one. Beautifully struck by Boucher. Straight up the ground, mid-off up in the ring. Will run away for 4.
Perfect for South Africa. Extra delivery goes for 4. 48 gone, 280 for 5. That's gone out of the ground. That's a terrific strike by JP Duminy.
They might have to adjust their lengths now. They've been happy to still bowl a length to JP Duminy, because he's been struggling with his timing, but not on this occasion. Pace taken off the ball again by Cummins. Duminy this time goes straight back over his head, and that is a super stroke.
Good clean strike by JP Duminy. Just the one this time. So Pat Cummins finding out that one-day international cricket is not plain sailing every single time. Mark Boucher on 9 of 7 deliveries. He'll be looking, eyeing that leg side boundary, hitting with the wind. That was a better delivery, full and straight.
I don't think they can hold length to Boucher, because it does allow him to go leg-sided. Likes to get it over that mid-wicket area. JP Duminy's international career, a good one. Healthy strike rate, 85.
It's poor delivery, attempted slower ball, not well directed. So against Australia, 12 matches for JP Duminy. Average is not bad, couple of 50s there, strike rate not too bad.
Very good. Only one. Going some.
.300 plus on for South Africa. That'll be a very challenging total on the surface.
What it would mean is someone in that top four, Warner, Ponting, Clark, someone would have to get in and play an innings of substance. Watson will remain to see what happens with him. No runners allowed, so will he stride to the crease?
It's a better slow delivery from Cummins this time. Boucher predictably eyeing that leg side boundary.
Now varying his pace as often as he can. No, Boucher wants to try and hit it over that mid-wicket region, hitting with the wind.
That's bigger than the one before. .49 gone, 297 for 5.
Fabulous knock from JP Duminy and appreciated by everyone here at Axis St George's Park.
One-day international 50s for JP Duminy. Struggled a bit to start with today, but kept his composure. He supported David Miller very well, and his timing has got better. He's had 2 magnificent sixes in the previous over. Good idea now to keep JP Duminy on strike.
Well, there is one way you would always like to go to a half century, with a powerful blow back over the bowler's head for 6. And that it was. Beautifully struck, a lot bigger than his first one, right onto the roof of the commentary box.
Cummins got JP Duminy out a couple of times earlier on this tour, but Duminy got his own back today. Delivery this time. It's going to be close, but good running.
Well, that well run 2 brings up South Africa's 300, just 5 down. Boucher understanding that he needs to have Duminy on strike as much as possible now in this final over. So pushed hard, did well.
That's out. Unfortunately, the full toss, JP Duminy just not getting hold of that one properly. So good innings comes to an end. JP Duminy initially supported David Miller well. Have a look at that dismissal.
Poor delivery from Bollinger. Duminy gone. Came good in the end, played well, 56, South Africa 300 for 6.
3 deliveries left. Johan Botha comes to the wicket. Experienced player, Johan Botha. It's his home ground, so he knows conditions very well. His main job later on will be his bowling. Off the mark straight away, Johan Botha. Johan Botha's at the wicket because of this. JP Duminy had a couple of clean strikes earlier on, but not this time. It was a full toss from Dougie Bollinger. He just didn't middle it straight to Smith at mid-wicket, the easiest of catches.
third man up in the ring for Boucher. There's a misunderstanding. If he hits, Boucher would have been gone. He didn't. He survives through for a single.
Direct hit would have been long gone. Australia, they haven't been on the button as far as their fielding is concerned today. Not a clean strike by Mark Boucher. It's Michael Clark. He did get a direct hit earlier, but he missed by a long way this time. Last ball of the innings. South Africa played well. They finish on 303 for 6, which is the 5th highest total achieved on this ground.
When Australia do come out to bat, they will need 304 runs to win, which will be at a rate of 6.0 runs per over.
Welcome back to Access St George's Park in Port Elizabeth, where we are all set for the second half of this, the second one international between South Africa and Australia. South Africa have played superbly so far. Australia need 304 runs to win. They have to go at just over 6 and over from ball one. That's the equation. We have batting power plays. We have a surface which is going to suit the batsman. We also have 2 new balls, so it's going to be a little bit crisper all round. But South Africa were brilliant. 2 century partnerships, and of course the injury blow also to Australia with the Shane Watson means that Ricky Ponting is going to be out there again opening the batting, which he did so well, picking up 60 in the first one international at Supersport Park. I think we're going to have a terrific game here. It's a potent batting lineup, starting with the former skipper, of course, Ponting, and then at the other end you've got a bloke who is dynamite when he gets going. David Warner is very special. We haven't seen the best of him in South Africa. We've seen him destroy attacks in the Champions League, but he is a magic player and he'll be very keen to get going, and there's a reasonable chance the conditions will suit. It's not the biggest ground in the world, we know that. We don't know anything, by the way, about Shane Watson. We don't know if he's going to bat. We do know if he does bat, he can't have a runner as per the new playing regulations. Throw in the name of Michael Hussey as well, and we just realise what a batting lineup they have, Australia. But Dale Steyn, he was fired up this morning. He wants to make a difference in this game. Lance Clues is alongside me. Lance, this is going to be a beauty.
It is. Good evening, everyone. I'm really looking forward to this. Dale Steyn, a fired up Dale Steyn, and we all know how far David Warner can hit a ball. So Dale Steyn is going to be looking to shake off a little bit of rust from Supersport Park. And certainly young David Warner is someone who's very, very exciting. So here goes.
Charging in with the breeze. 2 slips he's got as well. And that is a very good stroke to start proceedings. A slight little misfield from Johan Botha. And Warner off the mark with 2.
Good footwork straight away from David Warner. Dale Steyn has pitched up. Shorter men generally jump onto the front foot, but really pull and cut well. So David Warner is very exciting. It's 9 matches, average of 16. Probably still hasn't really filled his boots, but he is someone who really is exciting to watch.
A little bit straight that time. And that's gone for 4. Pretty fine he was, Morne Morkel. So this is a good start from Australia.
And Dale Steyn a little bit too straight. And a man of Warner's talent is not going to miss out. Just nipped that straight off the meat of the blade, and it's beaten the fielder at fine leg.
Steyn desperate to get things back on track after he felt he let the side down at Supersport Park. That's better. Can't do too much with that. Let's have a look at the speeds. Just under 140 k's per hour. But of course, Lance is not going to be just about speeds on this surface.
We saw when Australia bowled, the more pace you take off the ball, such as the nature of this wicket, it makes it very hard for the batsman to score. So we will see Dale Steyn, Tsotsobe and Morkel bowl a few slow balls, and then Hashim Amla has a host of spinners to choose from as those two new balls get a little bit older.
A little bit of variable bounce, that one just keeping a fraction lower, a change down in pace at 125 k's per hour. We saw one or two deliveries just misbehave a fraction in that first innings. That'll get the Australian batsman just thinking a little bit. One area that concerned me, Lance, and without nitpicking, because that over 300 total is a very good one, just scored 81, and I know that sounds like a pretty handy number, but with wickets in hand, only 81 runs in that last 10. Could have been a little bit higher, I guess.
Yeah, it could have, but I think it is, with the nature of the pitch, the slowness, it is tough to hit the ball over the top. So, you do have to take your time and make sure that you do get yourself in.
Look at what South Africa did. Have a look at that. Smith and Kallis, a stand of 142 between those two. JP Dumi and David Miller, a stand of 107, so 2 century stands. Everyone was talking about the batsmen have to fire. They've done it for South Africa. They've got to stay alive in this series. Win today, and it's 1-1 with 1 to go. Good comeback from Dale Steyn. 3 dot balls to finish the over. Correction, 4 it is. 6 for none. 1 over gone, 6 for no loss at this stage. Lonwabo Tsotsobe is going to be into the attack to bowl the second over. Now, he has done a very good job so far when we've seen him. His economy rate is tidy stuff. Wickets 39 and under 20. That's impressive. He's around about 6'4". His left arm, he's different. And he had high praise from Ricky Ponting and also Michael Clark after the game at Supersport Park. So this will be a nice little head-to-head. Beats the bat first up with 1 keeping a fraction low.
The thing that's impressed me so much about Lonwabo Tsotsobe is the fact that he's worked so hard on his skills, on his subtle skills. There he starts with a cutter straight away, and that really has been the improvement for Tsotsobe. We all know that he can bowl really well back of the length, but certainly if you're going to add to that the fact that he takes the pace off so well. Well, Ricky Ponting, that's probably why he's one of the best one-day batters in the world.
Averages pretty much bang on 50 in 1 day in South Africa. Good stuff on target. He'll be using his wrist quite a bit. Well, Tsotsobe, just to take the pace off the ball. Rolling the fingers across the seam, just a little bit of variation. We saw him bowl 1 or 2 balls in the T20 in Cape Town at 140 k's per hour. I think a lot of us talked about the fact that we need to find a yard as the series progressed against India. He did that. Pull shot. He loves playing that shot, does Ricky Ponting. It's not the biggest ground, and that's gone for 4.
Also, Tsotsobe's banged it in just back of the length. But Ricky Ponting is just so quick on his feet. If you are going to bowl that to Ricky Ponting, he is going to put you away. He's lifted it up with the wind. 4 runs to the score.
Just back with a square on the offside. A reminder, the highest total chased to win in a day-night match here was 207 for 7. South Africa against England back in 2004-2005. Sold out in Port Elizabeth. 17,500 people. If anything, and I know it's looking a little bit breezy out there at the moment, if anything, that wind has just dropped a little bit than from the start of play. It does mean all the same, though, that Tsotsobe is going to be running into this breeze, and Dale Steyn is running with it. Sweeper on the off correction on the leg side. Really is quite amazing the way that Nonwabo Tutsobi marks his run out. Up, 2 big paces around about 2 metres from the stumps, and then Lance, 58 steps, if you like. It's heel to toe, 58 feet, which he just paces out one by one all the way back to the end of his mark, and then he makes a mark, and then he starts from there. I would have thought a tape measure might have been the easy way to do it, but anyway, I would have lost count, that's for sure. Nice and straight. Boundary is short straight. And that's 4 runs. That's a nice way for Australia to finish the over. 10 runs from it, 16 for none. I think he's got a good bat. Beautifully timed.
Add to that to the pace of Dale Steyn. If that's come anywhere near close to Warner's middle of his willow, and it's just a push out into cover.
It really is quite an amazing stroke. It's a forward defence with a big stride, that's all it is. Take 4. This will be right out of the middle, yep. Reminds me of a story of Ross Edwards, who used to bat in the middle order for Australia, Lance. In test matches, he used to make sure that he picked his very worst bat to play with in the tests, so that he had to work as hard as he possibly could to get runs.
I thought the game was hard enough, Hazy.
I'm just reminding myself about your railway sleeper. That's an extraordinary stroke. That's beautifully played. It's not very short at all, and he's hammered that away for another 4 back-to-back boundaries for Warner.
It's a top shot. He's a small man, Warner, but if you do bowl back of a length, very good at pulling it away over mid-wicket. Men shorter in stature normally pull and cut very well. They get a lot of those deliveries, and Warner's just smashed that over that vacant mid-wicket.
Lost a little bit of control of that one, but he's okay by the looks of it. Nonwabo Tutsobi is going to test the TV umpire, I'm sure. Had to cover some ground now there at third man, but I'm sure Ian Gould will want a couple of squizzes at that.
The ball does get to you quickly down there, and definitely ball and boundary at the same time, so I'm sure we're going to see the umpire changing his decision and signalling 4 runs. So
End result is 3 4s in 3 balls now. 28 extras, just to recap a fraction. 9 byes, 12 leg byes, 7 wides. That's what Australia conceded. And there's no doubt that Dale Steyn is under the pump at the moment. Change down in pace, that one at 121.5 k's per hour.
that really is for me going to be the key. That's how South Africa go about defending 303. It's taking the pace off the ball. Dale Steyn does there. Doesn't really have to be a big change in pace, just has to be something different.
Slight change in the field as well. Fine leg inside the circle. Protection just in front of square on the leg side. Thought about the pull shot, I think, at one stage, but he ends with a dot ball. A dozen off it, though. 28 for none. Now, this is a bit of a flashback. Here's a look at a match summary back from 2002. South Africa 326 for 3. Smith 84. Kallis 80. So that's pretty similar. Rhodes 71. And not too many of the Australian bowlers getting in the picture. But Australia chased it down and won by 3 wickets with Ponting 92, Darren Lehmann 91, Gilchrist 52. And the bowlers not making much of a difference. So that was a terrific game. Extraordinary entertainment. And again, that magnificent bat of David Warner has found him another boundary.
Well, if you're timing it as well as David Warner is this afternoon, you don't have to swing too hard. You just have to find the middle of the bat, and he's certainly done that on one occasion before this. And the placement is pure. The ball is running away.
So his strike rate with the 5 boundaries he's scored now, another one right out of the middle of the blade. In fact, both these batsmen are striking at a rate of over 160.
Just shows you that good cricketing strokes, piercing the gap. That's all you really need when the fielder is up. When the field is up, we haven't seen any wild swinging from either of the batsmen, but they're still going along at a great clip.
And that itself, Lance, is the big difference with David Warner. He was agricultural. He'd admit that when he first arrived and first played against South Africa in a T20 game in Australia. He has refined. He was raw. He has refined his batting remarkably now, and he plays quality strokes. We've seen him already.
He's got some good teachers around him, Hazy, and I'm sure that he's learning every day from guys like Ricky Ponting, opening the batting with all that experience. So certainly he's a quick learner, and if he can carry on like that, he's certainly going to be a prospect for Australia going forward.
Aspirations, of course, to represent Australia, not just in the coloured clothing. Short cover. Morkel Kallis has been employed now. Graham Smith standing at about 1.5, maybe even second slip. Has he got him? Yes, he has. The South Africans are celebrating. Faf du Plessis is very quick in that cover region. Ricky Ponting was in no hurry whatsoever to go. In fact, he's not going anywhere. He's going to let the umpires have a bit of a look at this one. He's not convinced it carried. The South Africans are convinced. They're huddling and certainly look confident. And I think we're going to find this one going upstairs. I think we're going to see that this one's going to be obscured a fraction. I'm not going to be able to see if the fingers are underneath, but Ricky Ponting, right from the word go, was not going anywhere. He wanted to stick around to see if it was taken cleanly. Looks to me as though it was. That would be my call. And of course, we know that these reviews, these referrals, can get a little bit confusing, but I think he has been given out. There's the big smile from Faf du Plessis just after it happened. And just having a bit of a chat to David Warner, and he has stuck up the finger and stick. Ricky Ponting on his way. Here's another look at the catch from Faf.
High on his toes, Ricky Ponting just doesn't get over it. That's a fantastic catch. Any catch diving forward. That's a fantastic catch. The end of Ricky Ponting. Australia 34 for 1.
Tutorbi again. Michael Clarke, of course, is the man that's arrived. A little bit of interaction between Michael Clarke and Lonwabo Tutorbi after that last ball of that over, the first he bowled to Clarke, into the over, 34 for 1. It's got an edge, and the catch has been taken. Graham Smith at first slip has taken the catch. That is a massive wicket. Look at the celebrations from the South Africans. They know how important that one is.
This is a beautiful delivery from Morkel Kallis. It's in the channel outside off stump. Michael Clarke's just had a push at it. Grab the edge, a little bit of extra bounce from Morkel Kallis. Straight into those safe hands of Graham Smith. Michael Clarke departs, caught Smith bowled Morkel, Australia 37 for 2.
So suddenly the runs have dried up a little bit, and suddenly a couple of wickets have gone down. The last one, Clarke.
No doubt that Hassie relishes these situations. Opportunity for him to get his side home. This is just a wicket off Michael Clarke. Look at that bounce from Morkel. It's a great delivery, great fast bowler's delivery. See that ball grab the edge and go through the slip.
Just started his second over, of course, Morkel.
This is going to test David Warner, this situation here, because he's going to have to play a little bit out of character. There's been some wickets early on. he's still there. He likes to really get on with it.
You sound like you might be speaking from experience there, Lance.
I am. I'm sure he's going to be champing at the bit, just dying to play a shot in anger, but he's going to have to curb that for the moment. Build a little platform. Save that for later.
The dot ball was just good stuff from South Africa. The last boundary was some 3 overs ago. You'll notice that the South Africans are really starting to buzz in the park now. Morkel has started brilliantly. He did a very good job at Supersport Park. The only man who's got a little bit of tap today is Dale Steyn, who's bowled 2 overs and gone for 18. Mark Boucher, of course, is going to be buzzing around and having a bit to say, I would imagine, to his teammates and maybe the opposition once or twice. Picked up his 400th catch in one-day internationals at Supersport Park, which is an amazing record.
I think a lot of talk in the South African team has been about being up for this game, getting up the intensity. Look at those, that's 294 matches, 22 stumping, a total 421 dismissals.
So this, at this stage, this over is with 1 ball to go as a maiden, and he's picked up a wicket. And that's where it ends, a wicket maiden. That is magnificent stuff from the Giraffe. 37 for 2. We are presuming the next man that's going to be coming in for Australia will be Steve Smith. Still no news about Shane Watson, Haddon, Johnson. We know that those boys can play. On Waiba Tutsobi. Continues. Good stuff from Mark Boucher down the leg side. They've gone up for the catch. Shake of the head with the man in the red shirt. Now they're thinking about setting this upstairs. Graham Smith is hovering over the stumps. Hashimamla's some distance away. They've got 30 seconds, of course, to send it upstairs, and they are sending it upstairs. They are going to ask for a review. Straight away, I'm thinking that Hotspot should be able to tell this story. There certainly was some sort of noise by the looks of it, or by the sound of, I should say. But the Mark Boucher in particular seemed pretty confident. Let's have a look and see if he's okay from the no ball point of view, and tick that box. No dramas. They're allowed 1 unsuccessful review. Not really sure why they sent it upstairs. It's a good grab by Boucher, but it's off the pad. Hotspot will be able to confirm that. Yes, you can see just a little white mark off the pad just there as it goes by. So that's it. They've lost their reviews now. Really is quite amazing. They sent that one up. Engle's not going to take too much time with that. There it is, not out. In the commentary box now, Tom Moody and Robin Jackman.
Thanks, Michael. He missed it by 6 inches. I don't know. When you only got 1, you've got to be pretty sure, haven't you?
Yeah, certainly we've got the benefit of the replay and the slow-mo and hotspot and everything, but he clearly missed that by a long way. It must have just made a perfect sound. You know, that woody little tick as it went past Warner, and that was the defining thing that really made them feel that he's got something on that.
Interesting game, because 37 for 2 sounds like Australia are pretty much out of it. They got such a good batting lineup. Obviously, the loss of Watson, if he is completely out of contention to come into bat, is a serious one, because then you're a top class batsman short, but still going along at a good rate. Could Amber have made a bit more ground there? Easily said, sitting up here. We all know what it's like. Come mid-on, ball coming at you flat. Don't pick it up straight away.
Well, put it this way, I don't think you and I would have made any more ground. But it's one of those very difficult ones because of the height it came, so it's very hard to attack that. But that's bounced well short, awkward length. He's done everything he possibly could. He committed himself to it.
Yeah, he couldn't have caught that unless he'd have been standing 5 yards closer to start with. Slip still in place. Morkel Kallis used to be, I don't know whether you would still say he is, quite a nervous starter in any form of the game. It's flown down to third man.
Just to pick up your point early, Jack, is about Australia not riding them off, and you know, obviously there's been 2 key wickets in Clark and Ponting gone, but with Warner, he's a bit of an unknown. We've seen in 2020 cricket how devastating he can be over 20 overs. So if he gets going, and with the experience of Hussey at the other end, yes, it's still a very big total to get, but it is possible.
Eight gone, 39 for 2. There's some width and it's gone for 4. There you go. As we speak, there's a little full too.
A wonderful shot by Hussey, just latching onto one of the very few balls that have been full and wide. He's clearly in form. He's been in form of recent times. Had a very good series of Sri Lanka. They backed that up with a good Champions League.
That's, oh no! Put down. Dear oh dear. I was about to say, well, it's carried this time, which it did.
Well, this was an absolute gift. It wasn't hit that hard by Warner. He picked the slow ball full toss, tried to punch it down the ground and didn't quite get it. And Amla just coming around and should have been in a position where he was taking quite a straightforward catch. And no wonder Sapsolvi is so disappointed.
Beautiful shot. Hit that at the top of the bounce, or on the up, as they say. It's an exquisite cover drive.
Well, it was width again on offer for Hussey, but it was also a slower ball. Hussey just had to wait that little moment to make sure that he got perfect timing and placement.
John Britta knows this pitch very well. It's his home ground, so he knows the pace, the optimum pace to bowl on this pitch. Is Adi Carter, he's the groundsman. 21st one-day international pitch that he's prepared today.
The smile perhaps says he likes it, or is embarrassed to be on the telly. He'll be quite happy with 303 having been made in the first innings by South Africa. Oh, fortunate, very fortunate. Just about ran past it, and in the end went down the leg side. And
very unlike Mike Hussey, pressure is just starting to tell. Mike Hussey looking for the boundary, hitting across the spin. Oh, could have so easily got bowled there. He's just fortunate that that got the back pad.
it actually came off Mark Boucher's pad. Sets very high standards, Mark Boucher. He won't be happy with that. It's a missed stumping.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that at all. Opportunity.
Catches the call, nobody's going to catch it. The power play employed, and David Warner breaks the shackles with a boundary.
Frustration for Johan Botha. Could have had a wicket. So often happens that after a lead off, the boundary comes. Wasn't cleanly struck by David Warner, but good enough.
50 minutes between boundaries, between the one he's just hit and the one before. Huge shout, may well be sliding down the leg side. Yeah, no referrals left, no reviews, because they've utilised theirs. Good over that. Could have been so different. 64 for 2. Look at Australia's run chase. Warner 36 from 49. Michael Hussey 15 from 34. The partnership 27 from 59. It was needed by Australia after a couple of wickets fell relatively early in their innings. A good catch at cover. Francois Duplessis removing Ricky Ponting. Had to dive forward and go down as well. He did that to perfection. And then a superb delivery and a comfortable catch at slip. Morkel chipping the edge of Michael Clarke's bat, and Graham Smith doing the rest at first slip. Good shot, fantastic shot. Picked it up early and deposited it over the onside. A couple of bounces and 4.
He's been looking for that pull shot, Mike Hussey, and finally he got one that was short enough. So he got into position very quickly and very well. Good execution. There's no doubt that the injury to Watson has upset the Australian batting lineup. Also the injury to Marsh, because it's meant that Ponting has had to open, Clarke's had to go up the order to 3, so that has disrupted them.
Oh yes, what a shot. Couple of brilliant shots from Mike Hussey. So good to watch when he's going.
Well, that's quality. Mike Hussey at his very best. Just a little bit too much width, and the timing was exquisite. Played it late, right over the ball. Got his weight transfer into the shot. Mike Hussey at his very best.
Comeback from the bowler. Morkel Kallis decides to go with the slower delivery after going for consecutive boundaries. First 2 balls off the over. That's what he's done in the series so far at Supersport Park in Centurion. 30 not out from 21 to finish off the Australian innings. Played well there.
Running as well, so this is good over for Australia. They needed one, needed a couple of boundaries just to get that run rate up again. So he had a life. Mike Hussey was lucky earlier on. Mark Boucher missed a stumping off the bowling of Johan Buerta. Mamla as well, he had an opportunity to get rid of David Warner, catch it mid-on, that went begging. He's been looking to play that sort of pull shot, the short arm jab, David Warner all evening, but he's just picked the wrong length. The ball hasn't been short enough for that shot, that's why he's struggling with his timing. Looking up at the lights and thinking, well, they're not that great, he's right, they're not the best. Comfortable single, so good running again. 19 gone now, 81 for 2.
JP Duminy, who expected to bowl on this surface.
And understandably so, 2 left-handers at the crease. We've seen there's a little bit of turn on offer. Doherty got some turn for Australia. Burt has got the odd one to spin. So mid on up in the ring, now being sent back. Dumini's probably going to have 2 men behind point on the offside due to the pace of the surface. An extra cover, and a man at 45 on the leg side.
I guess the one thing that Australia need to start thinking about a little bit, and it's still too early at this stage, but when do they take the batting power play? The Stanworth 54, these two are in, these two are playing well. I think they need to get going a little bit more before that happens, so they can really have an assault when they're in an aggressive mode. Oh, that's nicely fielded. That is very well fielded. Good stuff. That was racing way towards the boundary before Morkel got the telescopic arm out. It's pretty much past him.
That batting power play is going to be critical. 46 South Africa managed to get off their overs
without losing a wicket.
Well, that's been a bit of a problem in the past, hasn't it? Because that batting power play has quite often worked in favour of the bowling side. Besides trying to work out how to go about batting in it. And do they try and just hit boundaries, or is it just this free, some free runs on offer?
He had a strike rate, David Warner, of 166 at one stage. It's now at 76. That single brings up a 50. Just a quiet salute to the change room.
And it's been a good innings. Ponting getting out early, Michael Clarke getting out early. Those are 2 big batsmen for this Australian side. So an innings that had some responsibility about it. And he's done very well, David Warner.
I agree. It's good running too between these 2 Australians. They're starting to rotate the strike quite nicely, picking up the odd little boundary. Running 1s and 2s hard. He's got 2 one-day international 50s, says David Warner.
His international career just in the infancy stage, so I'm sure that all those statistics will improve.
Balls left in this, the 22nd over, just 4 from it so far from JP Duminy, just to release a little bit of pressure from the South African bowlers. It's good stuff. Well bowled from JP Duminy, just 4 from it. 95 for 2 now.
It was a responsible innings David Warner's played, but up front he played some magnificent strokes. He was all timing. He used the pace that Steyn had on offer, and even off Lonwabo Tsorbe, who gets it up at about 120, 130. He managed to find the boundary. Good knock.
At almost the halfway mark, South Africa are well ahead of Australia at the same stage, runs and also 1 better off in the wickets department. Australia's original rate was just a shade over 6. They would need to go from here at 7.7, so it's still manageable. They've kept it within reach. Someone, probably 2 guys, have to play extraordinarily well. I guess we all know that these 2 men at the crease can do that. I don't think this game is all over. It's not. Don't go too far away from your TV screens. They have some work to do, but they are capable. Goodness me, that's, I think, another miss from Mark Boucher. He missed what was pretty much regulation earlier in the innings, and I think Michael Hussey has just run past that one as well. That expression tells the story.
Well, again, we'll refer to the lack of cricket that the Proteas have been playing. Boucher was at the Champions League, got injured, so didn't do a lot of keeping there either. And that could be a costly miss. Michael Hussey's been in these positions before and taken Australia across the line. He, for me, is the key.
He was missed on 18 stumped, missed on 36 stumped. So Mark Boucher has been an extraordinary keeper over the years. He will be extremely annoyed.
Hussey never gave up. He went back.
Looking for two. Hussey touches down and back very quickly. They spotted that it was Lonwabo. Very good running indeed. Will that miss stumping just give them a little bit of momentum that they've been looking for the last 45 minutes?
Well, the focus will be on the running, but let's give some credit to the weight of the stroke from David Warner. Identified that the man deep on the fence, so he's just given it the right pace off the bat to be able to get through for two.
Good stuff from Johan Botha. Just about to complete his fifth over, only conceded 18 runs at this stage. Lonwabo Tutsubi, 1 for 20 off his 5. That's been very tidy. Morkel, 1 for 10 off 4. Those bowlers have been superb so far. Again, just holding up a little bit, thinking about two. Johan Botha this time out of the blocks very quickly indeed. Good stuff from Botha. Should have picked up a wicket. Conceded only 4. 107 for 2. Could be trouble here. He scrambled back. We'll have to see. It's gone upstairs. Now the South Africans are celebrating. They think they might have this. Michael Hussey is walking down to his teammate David Warner. He's not looking very happy at this stage. I think the South Africans think they picked up another wicket.
Johan Botha was very, very quick, and he had to be, and he's done enough. Hussey is well short. Boucher's removed the bails, and a very, very big wicket for South Africa. Michael Hussey has been run out. Third umpire has confirmed that decision. Hussey sets off, Warner sends him back. Botha, quick release. Boucher does the rest. Hussey's gone, run out for a well-played 37, Australia 108 for 3.
Still no Watson. Steve Smith has arrived at the middle now. 22 years of age, just another youngster. Of course, he did a very good job with the ball earlier today, so his confidence will be pretty good out there. He needs to get some runs for his career by the looks of those stats, as well as tonight for Australia.
Good piece of fielding by Johan Botha. Hussey really felt he had one. Warner correctly sent him back, but he had gone too far down. In South Africa, that was a big wicket.
Dying from the pitch as well, that delivery from JP. 108 for 3. Would expect the birthday boy, Brad Haddon, to come in next. 34 he turned today. Rate required from here is climbing. Just under 8.2 per over at this stage. Not the biggest ground in the world, so if the batsmen start to launch a little bit, and David Warner is very capable of that, they can pick up runs quickly indeed. At the moment, HD, the lack of pace is impressive from South Africa.
South Africa have bowled well. Botha has a great bit of work with it in the field. He's done a great bit of work with the ball, but on any surface, Johan Botha is a good one-day bowler. He's a thinking cricketer. He controls his pace well.
And I would imagine that Mark Boucher would have been quite relieved that Hussey departed after missing him twice.
Absolutely. Well, the single has brought Steve Smith on strike, and here's another man who he's got a big job ahead of him. Picked ahead of there was many who felt maybe Mitchell Marsh should have got the nod ahead of him.
48 deliveries now since the last boundary. That's a long time between drinks.
So many felt that Mitchell Marsh should have got in ahead of him. He certainly validated their selection with the ball, having bowled really well, but with the bat is where they need him now, and we know that Marsh is in good form. He showed that when he got his opportunity in the T20s.
That's his role. He's a batsman who bowls a bit. Steve Smith, very capable batsman. I think those who've seen him play have been impressed with the runs he has scored, domestic level in particular. But now an opportunity to work hard with David Warner and get Australia in a position from which they can launch.
A squeeze being put on by Hashim Amla and Johan Pura together, 5 in the ring.
The way things are going with these two, JP Dumani and Johan Pura, you just keep them going for as long as you possibly can. 2 balls away from completing 6 overs. Only conceded 22 runs. Dumani 3 overs for 8. Good stuff from Hashim Amla.
So a little interesting field placing that Hashim Amla has is to the right-handed Smith. He had himself at square leg. So often we see the off-spinner want a man at 45, and right-handers just pick up the off-spinner. They pick him up for singles square of the wicket. They seem to block that area off as Amla.
Very good stuff again from Buata. 5 from it, 113 for 3. The economy rates outstanding. Steyn will be a little disappointed with 6.25. Everyone else brilliant.
The run rate's getting a little higher. Just 8.28 required. I think more strokes like this are required from Warner.
Well, I think with the guys to come, they can't allow it to blow out much more. Around about 8.5 is a tough call from so far out.
Well, before it gets completely out of hand, you probably find that they'll want just get Smith in, just get him in, give him a couple overs, and then maybe look to take that power play quite soon. Just control that run rate a little bit better than what it is right now.
Hashim Amla is off the park, getting treatment for a bit of a finger injury, which is why Imran Tahir is on at the moment. Presumably Johan Pura has taken over the captaincy stakes.
Fantastic job for South Africa here. He's the 6th bowler, but I think that Amla and Johan Pura now will probably utilise him for a few more because he's going at just 3 and over.
Good stuff, firing towards the leg stump and just holding up and turning a fraction. Another good over from JP. 5 runs from it, 118 for 3. So just 32 runs off the last 10 overs. 1 wicket going down for Australia, so they've got work to do from this point in. At the same stage, South Africa 145 for 3 in the commentary box. Kevin Vessels and Tom Moody.
Thank you, Mark Hazeman. Johan Pura has been bowling particularly well tonight. The spinners together have done a great job for South Africa. They've got Australia under pressure. So tactically, Tom, from here, what do you think Australia needs to do?
Well, I thought Mike Hussey and Dave Warner are very much on track. They were just trying to get closer to the last 15 overs where they had a batting power play up their sleeve, and then those last 10 overs. But the dismissal, the run out of Hussey, was a big blow. So Smith has to get in. And once he gets in, this pair needs to make sure that run rate doesn't get above, say, 9.5. And they'll try to utilise that power play. Warner will be a big factor in that power play. It's a good opportunity for two of Australia's younger members of this squad. There's a lot of experience in the squad, but they're either out or injured. But it is a good opportunity for these two to really show what they're capable of. It's going to be a tough ask for them, but you just never know, as we've already experienced in this series in that second T20 match where we saw Parnell and Tarong sort of finish off an amazing game.
Yes, that came out of nowhere. David Warner, while he's there, Australia have got some sort of a chance.
Johan Boyter is a very experienced campaigner, though. He's very clever the way he changed his pace. It's quite hard to really get to.
From the Boyter, but umpire not interested. So 29 overs gone now, 122 for 3. Warner Morkel getting ready to come into the attack, and there's in the nets, that's the indoor nets in Port Elizabeth. That's where Watson is having a hit. He's just trying to test out his back. Been a disruption for Australia, the fact that he couldn't open. Got some treatment, just testing out that lower back, suffering from back spasms.
He's also practicing running because the new ICC rules, you can't have a runner. He pulled up after, it was in his 4th over, he pulled up with a back spasm or some sort of strain, and he went straight off the field at that point. He can either come in around about 7:30, so in 10 minutes or so, if a wicket falls, or number 7. So he looks to be moving okay.
Warner Morkel bowled pretty well earlier on. Got the valuable wicket of Michael Clarke with a real beauty.
He did bowl well. He's an awkward customer. He bowls a good pace. It's mid-140s, but where he is difficult, he gets steep bounce. But, he did find a very awkward length early on. Bowled an absolute beauty that found Michael Clarke's edge of his bat.
Well, Mark Raucher hasn't had a happy evening behind the stumps. He's made a couple of mistakes.
Well, it's got to be a night for the keepers, because Brad Haddon also had a difficult night behind the stumps. He missed a number of byes. I think it was 13 in total. But, this one just not carrying through to Boucher, just bouncing in front of him, which can be awkward.
Good bowling. He's bowling a very good length. Morning, Morkel.
Boucher's having a hard time too. Not only Smith just half stepping, and that's the problem there. Not really committing to the front foot. It's only a half a step at that, a quarter step, and pushing his hands out at the ball. That's why he's finding it difficult to cover it and make a solid defensive shot. Morkel, it's not the easiest bowler to get forward to, being so tall. He's quick, as we've already mentioned. It's hard for batsmen to get that decent stride forward to the taller bowlers.
Yeah, handful, particularly on a surface where there's pace and bounce. Should see some of that during the test matches, particularly for Wanderers. better from Smith. Got a bigger stride in, more convincing in his footwork.
Well, that's a pretty good pitch map. It's only a handful of deliveries, but there's a consistent length there and line. What Morkel has done, and you could probably expand further on this, Kepler, but from what I've seen of observing him over the last few years, that he's brought his length up. And when he first burst on the scene, he was a lot quicker, but his length was just a little too short, so the better players could deal with it. But now he appears to have that length at a very good level.
Well, that's a good shot, David Warner. It's not going to go to the boundary, but a very good straight drive. Yes, he certainly has refined his bowling. Morkel, 30 overs gone now, 125 for 3. 20 overs left in this match. Australia require 179, so that's not going to be easy to get. If that was a T20 game under these conditions, you'd feel that the home side got a very good chance of winning, and indeed they have. They've been in control of the game for most of the time. So it's going to require something very special, particularly from David Warner, to win this one.
I think it's important in saying that, Kepler, that it's not only Warner's responsibility. Yes, he's in. He's got himself well and truly established at the crease, but he can't do it alone. He needs support at the other end. Someone's got to play a gem at the other end. Australia have got Smith out there at the moment. It's his opportunity. They've also got potentially Watson, as we've seen. He may come in at some stage. Call was for 2 early on, and they're going. Warner's very quick, and they make it. So they've got Watson potentially to come in. Mitchell Johnson also, who's a handy striker of the ball. He's been a bit lean for runs over recent times.
Career best for David Warner. Short of runs early on in this tour during the T20s. Had a bit of luck tonight. He was dropped early on by Hashim Amla, straightforward chance, but since then he's played pretty sensibly.
And the other player, just to expand further on, is Brad Haddon. So Haddon's got experience, been here a long time. So Watson, Haddon, Mitchell Johnson. Still a question mark over Watson, but it's a little bit of depth there.
Well, Smith can't wait too long before he starts to play a little bit more aggressively, because otherwise the pressure will just mount too much to David Warner. Wide run rate climbing all the time. It's over 9 now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nearly got to the stage where there needs to be some sort of communication out in the middle. Warner's the one that's got to bat the innings. Smith has got to, basically say to Warner, look, I've got to go. Early in the over, I'll target a couple of boundaries. Let's just rotate the strike around that.
Just a single to finish the over, so 31 gone, 130 for 3. Overs left. South Africa in control of the match. They won the toss and they batted much better today. A couple of good partnerships in the South African innings. Morkel Kallis and Graham Smith played the foundation, and then later on David Miller along with JP Duminy played really well. Hashim Amla has had a disappointing day, both with the bat and in the field.
Well, he dropped an important catch, and it was David Warner who's still out there. So we've all dropped catches, and there's nothing worse when a bloke's still hanging around there and you're the culprit.
Morkel into his 6th over. Got the important wicket of Michael Clark, but he's been miserly. He's been very good, conceding just 14 runs. He's looked good all series, Morkel. Play that full shot a few times tonight. David Warner hasn't really got onto one that well, mainly because they probably haven't been quite short enough to pull. But this was earlier on, the drop catch we referred to. Hashim Amla at mid-on, well, they don't come a lot easier than that, so he'll be very disappointed with that, the South African captain. It's a long way there. This should be caught, and a comfortable catch for Mark Boucher.
Well, the pressure was mounting all the time, and unfortunately for the Australian team, it's Warner that's gone. It's been a long time since a boundary. 13 overs since they scored a boundary, and Warner looking for that elusive boundary. Trying to work one to leg, getting a top edge, and Boucher completing a good catch. Never easy, didn't go in cleanly either. But it's the end of Warner. It's been a good knock, but he's had to do it alone. He's gone for 74. It's 133 for 4.
Shane Watson is on the field now after his injury. Is permitted and allowed to bat now at this time. Morkel got a deserved 2nd wicket. Pressure mounting on David Warner. Tried to play the pull shot but couldn't control it. Mark Boucher, relief for him. He made a couple of mistakes earlier tonight, but no mistake this time. So that's an important breakthrough for South Africa. And right in control of this game now. It's been a bit of a struggle for Australia. David Warner played well, but only Mike Hussey playing a supporting role to him so far.
It's interesting, Kepler, you were saying off air how the pressure was mounting in these two. You can nearly sense that a wicket was going to fall and Warner was the culprit, but it was 13 overs since a boundary had scored. The partnership was 35 balls between Smith and Warner. And only 25 runs scored, so quite clearly there was a lot of pressure out there.
Smith's just too slow, putting too much pressure on Warner. He's got his 8 off 19 balls, so that's not really quickly enough in the situation. So somebody had to go. Warner had to try and force the pace. Required run rate now up to 9.4. .32 gone, 134 for 4.
Well, it's just short of 10 per over the Australians need, so they need to have a big 5 overs. South Africa batted very well in their batting power play. Kallis has been given the ball by Amla. He's got the experience. He tends to change his pace very cleverly. Can get the ball right up into the block hole. Smith is on strike. There's a 3rd man in place. A man just in front of square on the leg side. And a deep mid on. The 3 fielders that are allowed back.
Bowl a lot of slower balls. Morkel Kallis, he rolls his finger across it and bowls that slower ball with an off-spinner's action that's pretty effective on the surface. South Africa got 46 during their batting power play, so they did pretty well, as Tom Moody said.
The first over of that 5 for South Africa went for 19 off a Mitchell Johnson over. So they got off to a real flyer in those 5 overs.
Talking about the test matches, the all-important first one in Cape Town, so the test squad has been announced. So Jacques Rudolph finally in the lineup. Took a while, but he's there, so thank heavens for that. And then Vernon Philander, he's the other notable inclusion.
Couple of spinners, Paul Harris and Imran Tahir. They're in there.
Well, that's out the ground. So that is a very good shot. He does play the hook shot well, Shane Watson.
Well, this is brutal. Just short and clubbing it behind square. One of the biggest parts of the ground. It's not a huge ground here, but Watson going a long way over.
Goes again. That was a slow delivery. That's going to go to the boundary as well. So good return for Australia during the first over of the batting power play.
Watson picking the slower ball, not timing it, just dragging it over the leg side, going with the turn of the ball. There's an off cutter that was bowled by Kallis. So Watson making it very clear what his intentions are during this power play.
Another slow delivery, just the one this time.
So 14 off the over, just one delivery remaining. Smith on strike, he's been in there for some time. He's got a feel for this wicket.
Just can't get the boundary, Smith. So 34 gone now, 151 for 4. Liddell staying to continue, and a change in the commentary box. Pommy Mbangwa and Hans Klusner.
Thanks, Kepler. Look at that Australian batting card. 74 to Warner from 97 balls and 37 to Hussey from 62. Now looking for a partnership between Smith and Watson. So far 18 off 15. That's a big shot. Oh, good work, really good work that is by JP Duminy on the fence. Had to move across from long on. And saves a couple. It'll be checked, no doubt.
Well, Watson's a very good pull of the ball. It's great work. JP Duminy pulling it back, but if you are going to bowl there to Shane Watson, he is a very good puller. He set his stall out early. He's out there to hit a few boundaries.
Seems he's all right as far as his back is concerned. It's not hindering his batting, that's for sure. Couple of big shots. 13 not out from 7 balls.
Well, he's going to have to get a foot on the gas, I think, from both ends, really. Smith's eaten up a few balls, so going to have to start scoring and contributing from both ends if they're going to get over the line this evening.
Yeah, required run rate just over 9.5. to a boundary every over here for Australia and some. Steyn none for 32, is bowled 5.5 overs. His beginning wasn't particularly good, but he's come back since. ...15 from 28 balls. Smith, you said a little while ago, Lars, that he's eaten up a few balls. He is capable of hitting the ball, and hits it in strange areas. Is very unorthodox as a batsman. And when you watch him, you don't always think that he's picture perfect, but he a lot of the time gets the job done. 5 off that over, 156 for 4. That's a long way up in the air. Fielder coming in, catch taken. Johan Botta makes absolutely no mistake. Shane Watson's got to go.
Well, he did show his intentions early, Shane Watson. Clearly frustrated with himself. Just gets too much underneath it and flick it away with the wind out there. Johan Botta, safe as ever. He had to make a lot of ground to get into that position. And he has taken a fine catch. The end of Shane Watson. He scored 15, caught Botta bolted Sobe.
Australia 156 for 5 now. Shane Watson's departed, and in comes Australian wicketkeeper and birthday boy, Brad Haddin. In the air, doesn't quite carry. Really good effort by Hashim Amla. Had to dive to his right.
Sobe taking the pace off. Brad Haddin lunging forward. The ball just teasing Hashim Amla there. But it is tough to just walk in a situation like this and hit the ball from ball 1. Brad Haddin, vastly experienced. Average 31. Good strike rate. 81.9. He's going to need a bit more than that tonight. But he is a very, very capable batsman.
Slower deliveries have been employed a lot by bowlers on this surface. And that was 1-2. Sobe rolling the fingers over the ball, and Johan Botta making absolutely no mistake. Shane Watson not happy with himself at all. Not happy with getting out. South Africa celebrating. Good wicket to get. Any wicket's a good wicket. Always the best way to slow things down. Been fantastic, Lonabo Totobe, in this one-day side. Last season, yes, he missed out in the World Cup, played just the one game, did well in that as well. And whenever he's been asked to play in the side, no trouble, gets people out. Happy birthday to Brad Haddin.
South Africa won't mind too much. They're leaking singles, but that's okay. It's boundaries that they'll be concerned about. Sobe's skills have improved a lot since he burst onto the scene. He's tall, it makes it difficult to get after him, especially on a wicket like this. Home game for him, and he knows the conditions well.
A wicket and 5. 1-6-1 for 5.
What's been good for me this evening, Pom, is the way that the South African bowlers have mixed up the pace. Dale Steyn, Lonwabo Tsotsoba in particular, mixed it up really well. Faf du Plessis having a shot.
Francois du Plessis has been pretty good in the field. He's thrown himself about and he's pretty athletic. Saved quite a few runs as well. Always good for the bowlers. In South Africa, renowned as a good fielding side. In fact, as a brilliant fielding side. Quite a few youngsters in the South African side. And fast across the ground. Some good athletes. .37 is the rate required, and Australia still need to think about how it is they can go about winning this. It's exactly how they will be thinking, no other way to go about it. 20 from 34 for Steve Smith and Haddin 3 from 3. Gotta just keep going, keep nudging it about, try and get a boundary where possible. Take it all the way to 50 overs.
It's a boundary and over really that they need at least, and then I'll run it around from there. That's really what the batsman should be thinking about, making sure that if they can get a boundary away early and then run it around from there, keep up with the rate and take it as far as they can, take it as deep into those 50 overs as possible. If it gets down to the last over, then they've given themselves a chance.
When it gets to this sort of stage, batsmen generally, I suppose, would pick an area, favoured area, your get-out area where you have to hit a boundary, so that's where you're looking. Where was your area?
Well, Pom, any area, any part of the bat, just get it down to the boundary, but I think the important thing is just to back your shot, even if there is a fielder there. Rather take him on than try and look for the gaps, because that's where your strength is.
A big shot. It's got a long way up in the air. There's a fielder coming around. And JP doing it pretty quick, but couldn't quite get there. A couple of runs to finish the over. 167 for 5. The yellow worm below the green one. Apart from the start of their innings where David Warner got out of the blocks pretty quickly. It's a beautiful shot. Just the one run. In the previous over, Dale Steyn with another slower delivery, and Steve Smith threw the shot. Went a long way up.
JP Duminy thought he had a chance. He made all of 50 metres to get there. Caught it on the first bounce, but he had a chance. He thought he had a chance there for a while.
21 balls since the last boundary. So finding it very difficult, Australia, to get the South African bowlers away. Credit to the bowlers, they've bowled decently, bowled in good areas, varied their pace. Just the bowlers to come: Mitchell Johnson, Xavier Doherty, Doug Bollinger and Pat Cummins. Well played. Comes across the stumps and helps it onto the leg side, and was headed for 4, but for the huge effort. It's Johan Botha throwing himself around in the outfield.
Very, very good fielder, Johan Botha. Made down a lot of ground. He's put his body on the line. Looks good. Looks like he's got a hold of that ball before his body has crossed the line. So he saved a definite 2 runs.
That was appreciated as well by Lona Bototsobe. You throw yourself about, and you can expect the rest of your team to do so as well when you're the one bowling. It's just expected though in this setup. About 174 for 5. Great start.
Australia finding it hard to find any rhythm, any runs. Just a little bit of way of movement from Morne Morkel. And that's the champion competitor he is. Extra bounce, as well as we should expect from Morne Morkel. South Africa have been good. They've taken the pace of the ball. The wicket has helped them. Winning the toss and batting first was certainly an advantage. So it is tough to score out there. The wicket has played its part, but then again you still have to bowl it to those conditions, and South Africa have been good.
Shape in place now. Morne Morkel's bowling. After that first delivery went past the edge, skipper felt he should put a slip in. Boldwell's got the ball just straightening off the surface, so leaving the right-hander. He's a wide slip. There's Morkel Kallis. Tough with every dot. Brad Haddon will feel the need to do something. Can't just stand there and let Morne Morkel run up and join dots together. Run rate required's gone up to 11.3. Still got to be attempting to get close to win the game.
Certainly not the easiest of bowlers to get away is Morne Morkel. Maybe an idea is just to see him off this over and attack from both ends, both batters, when the over changes, because that's what's needed now. It's almost 2 boundaries and over that the Australians are going to need if they are going to compete this evening.
No slip for Steve Smith, more established of the 2 batsmen in this innings. Has faced 38 balls. Oh, that's a good strike. Is it good enough? No, it's not. Oh, absolutely fantastic. He had to make sure that he knew where he was, JP Duminy, just so he didn't tread on the ropes. And he judged it to perfection.
Wow, this is a great catch. He's not the tallest of men, JP Duminy, and he's stretched to the max. Great catch. He's kept inside the rope. Fine catch. Work exceptionally hard at their fielding. happy with that. So the end of Stephen Smith. He's out for 26. Caught Germany bowled Morkel, Australia 175 for 6.
Australia 175 for 6. And the St George's, the crowd breaks into song. Quite happy with how South Africa are going. Mitchell Johnson has walked out to the middle. Superb over that, just 1 run and a wicket. 175 for 6. Morkel's got another, but thanks to JP Duminy for an outstanding effort in the D. It was struck well. Had he not taken it, would have comfortably cleared that boundary. But a good leap. Yeah, had to stretch the back a bit more than usual. Hurt a bit. Hurt even more for Stephen Smith.
176 for 6. 41 overs gone. 14.2 runs to the over required. South Africa in control. Boerter coming on to bowl now, and that'll be an invitation certainly for the Australians to try and clear the rope, so we might see a little bit of fun or a couple of wickets, whichever which way it's likely to go or can go. Invariably in these situations it's the latter.
Bowled very well up until now has Jan Boerter. For the right-handers, the deep mid-wicket area is a favourite area at this ground. I like to target. It's not a particularly long hit, but for the left-hander, a little bit different. There's his spells. Very, very good performer.
Did you enjoy playing here, HD?
I did. It wasn't for very long. I mean, it was a very, I'm not going to talk about the ground, a very well-run shop here. The CEO here, Dave Emsley, made you feel very welcome. But yeah, nice ground. Not a particularly good ground. The wicket has changed over the years. Now a really decent contest between bat and ball in the 4-day competitions. We favoured the batsmen a little bit during the days of Kepler Wessels.
The band's keeping everybody going, and the crowd have been full of song, I must say, throughout the day. Quite know where the ball had gone there for a moment, Mitchell Johnson.
You mentioned the public, and they're well supported here of South Africa, as well as the domestic team that plays here, the Warriors. Very well supported. It's as if they're sort of starved of good sport in this part of the world.
There's a big hit. 1 bounce 4 though. Didn't really catch it out of the middle of the bat, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Mitchell Johnson actually looks to hit this straight, and Boerter just cramps him up a little bit from around the wicket, and it ends up disappearing over mid-wicket. Bounces once and into the boundary.
Early feet, boy. Early feet, boy.
A little bit of a change in the field now. The sweeper comes in off the cover boundary, and another man goes back out to the mid-wicket fence. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the leg side boundary. Made him do something different, unsuccessfully.
We saw that a little earlier today. Someone who's not really accustomed to playing reverse sweeps end up getting out to it. I think Mitchell Johnson should go to where his strengths are. It's not a big ground. There's no reason why he can't take on these boundaries.
Or bowled. Just 5 from the over. 181 for 6 now. The yellow worm's going in the wrong direction here. It's almost going parallel Kallis back into the attack. 6 overs for 37.
It's not only the run rate that's a concern, which is now edged over the 15 to the over, but it's the wickets in hand. 6 down. No batsman really to speak of to come. Know that Doherty can bat a little bit, and then just Bollinger and the young man coming. So Australia are in all sorts of trouble. But you hate to make predictions in this game because we know what the 2 men at the crease are capable of doing. But they're going to have to be more than just capable. They're going to have to be quite special.
I feel very happy about predicting the South African win here, which sets it up nicely for Durban next Friday.
Tell you what is sad about Durban, Robin, is that there's a bit of rain predicted for that last one-day international, which is not ideal.
Now there's a surprise. Hamlet, happy man. It's a wide.
I think South Africa will be relatively happy with their performance so far this evening. From a batting point of view, they were good. They needed to establish a platform up front to allow the middle order an opportunity to play their strokes, and they did that. Kallis and Smith.
Just the one.
Both Kallis and Smith getting some runs was good, especially Graham Smith, who's been short of, let's forget runs, time at the crease, and he managed to do that. He faced 69 deliveries, so that was very important from a South African perspective. And then the young man David Miller, who didn't go to the World Cup, recalled by Gary Kirsten, he showed what he's capable of doing, 59 or 51 deliveries. So a lot of positives to come out of the South African batting card.
Just been the lack of boundaries that's really sealed the latter stages of this game. It's fair to say that Australia were hurt by the fact that Watson got injured and therefore could not bat in his normal position up front. You're chasing down 300. You want the order that you've selected to have to do that should it be necessary. So that was a setback to them, but not to take anything away from the boys in green and gold. They've done everything right this evening, other than I've seen them better in the field, on the ground anyway. But it's nice to have something else that you still need, that you need to improve on, and work will go into that during the week.
It's actually been somewhat surprising because both Australia and South Africa are normally very, very good fielding sides, and both teams can say that they can improve in those areas. Let's not forget Watson didn't bowl much.
The end of the 43rd, 186 for 6. By comparison to the South African batting card, saw just now Warner 74. He was the one man that hung in there for long enough, punting out for 10, beautifully caught at cover. Clark caught Smith, bowled Morkel at slip for 1, and Hussey was having to do a rebuilding job with Warner. Was eventually run out by Botha for 37, but in 62 deliveries, and then it was all pretty much hard work from then on. And
you almost felt that Hussey and Warner really needed to take the Australian innings very, very deep because of obviously the uncertainty over whether Watson was going to bat and what sort of impact he could make. Steve Smith relatively new into the one-day side. Brad Haddon struggling with form over the past few months.
From down the ground, Tumini the fielder.
So the run out of Hussey was a big one for South Africa. And Warner became a little bit becalmed as Smith struggled to get the ball around the field.
This is how it happened. Very quick release from Botha. Watch this.
And that's the area that Haddon needs to target. It's not particularly long down to that mid-wicket boundary. And Botha, being an off spinner, hitting with a spin.
Heaved away. One of the men on the boundary will retrieve it. Last 20 overs. Look at the lack of boundaries there. 1 6 and 2 4s in 20 overs. It's a big 6, mind you.
Mitchell Johnson, who's tried to go straight down the ground on a couple of occasions, needs to just give himself a little bit of room to be able to free the arms. He's going down the wicket, he's going straight down, and Botha's cramping him for room, which leads to him sort of scabbing it onto the leg side.
Bowled in. Gave himself a little bit of room and got rolled over. But it was very full and cramped again. Good bowling by Botha.
Johnson's recognised that he needed boundaries. He's been looking at them the last couple of deliveries from Botha, but he's outsmarted him as the off spinner from South Africa. Mitchell Johnson has been comprehensively bowled. He's gone for 9, and Australia are 190 for 7.
Morkel. Xavier Doherty is the new man at the crease. The sort of situation that every young player relishes, especially batting at number 9. You wander out there needing 20 and over. Go on, son, you can do it. Heard it all before. That's the wicket of Mitchell Johnson.
Botha deserved that wicket because it's really been his spell of 1 for 42 in 10 overs, which put a halt to the Australian innings. He came on in the middle period and did a job with JP Duminy, and Hussey struggled a little bit to get the ball away. Even David Warner struggled to get the ball away. See how good he was to Mitchell Johnson. Most of those deliveries bowled from around the wicket, angling into that midland leg stump.
I might have heard something there. It hasn't carried, so I wouldn't have expected an appeal, but I thought I heard a tiny little noise in my ear. Maybe it was somebody in the band with a triangle. Because I've got the band in my ear, I can tell you that. Bowled very well tonight, Morné Morkel. 8 overs and 4 balls, 2 for 19 with 2 maidens. Correction, 3 for 19 with 2 maidens.
Many have always referred to Dale Steyn as being the senior partner in the bowling combination. Over the last season or two, Morné Morkel has stood up now, and we know that Steyn is ranked higher than in test rankings, but they're of equal footing. He's got lots of pace, plenty of bounce. Now there's accuracy to go along with the rest of those talents. So a very formidable opening attack, Steyn and Morkel. When they do get the new ball together, we know that Tsotsobe does a lot of that in the one-day games. But in Test cricket, I'm sure we might see them share the new one.
Sure we will, and I still think Morné Morkel's a work in progress, and it's getting better all the time. It's a terrific experience for him. Playing a miss. End of the over, just 1 from it. 191 now for 7. Very impressive bowling figures, those. Just look at the economy column, the right-hand column, all the way down there, including Duminy, 4 overs, 0 for 12. Given the right surface for him to bowl on, he's very capable of doing that more than once. Steyn now from the Park Drive end.
Still just the 4 in the ring for Haddon. 3 of them on the offside.
Down the ground and out. Very well caught by Faf du Plessis. He had to make ground to his left. The ball arrived really quite quickly. He's right underneath our commentary box here. He's such a good fielder.
He's middled us as Haddon. He's hit this flat. It certainly would have gone for 6. But instead, du Plessis gets around, takes a fabulous catch. And South Africa have another wicket as they move ever closer to that victory to level the series. Haddon's gone for 13, Australia 191 for 8.
Doug Bollinger at the crease. He actually took guard. Remarkable. Some people coming in these situations wouldn't bother. Been here before. Here's Steyn. Oh! Desperate dive from Kallis at slip. Gets away and runs away for 4.
Bollinger's not hanging about. Steyn gives him a little bit of width. Bollinger tries to drive it. Kallis ever so close. Full dive. It's fine enough to beat third man. Bollinger's off the mark with a boundary. That's a great effort from Kallis. Brad Haddon spent some time at the crease. He's 13 coming off 23 deliveries. He needed boundaries. He middled one. Du Plessis took a magnificent catch at long on. And a little bit of distance to travel. He got around there very quickly. Wonderful fielder. All around the ground he can field.
Have to hurry if he hit. I think he might have been struggling. Once again, it's... Is it du Plessis? I think it was, yeah. Yeah, out if he'd hit.
What do you do if you're a young man, Jaggers, walking into this sort of situation, just starting your career? Do you say, well, I'll take one for the team, or do I stick around here and get myself 12 not out?
Well, the first thing is to consider that it's Steyn and Morkel that you're batting against. And the ball's only about 21 overs old. So it's not a situation you've been in before. Nicely played, sweetly timed. It's down to third man, just the one. It's the other option, just get up the other end. 197 for 8. When you say to me, what do you do? I do recall joining Graham Clinton, who'd managed to block Surrey into a position where nobody could see how they could win. They needed 8 and over, which in those days was ridiculous. I mean, nobody could get 8 and over. That'd be stupid. So we played nomination cricket. So when he was facing, I told him exactly where he must hit the next ball, and I gave him a different part of the ground each time. When I was batting, he did the same. We won the game comfortably, as it turned out. So there you go, nomination cricket. But I reckon 27 and over is not so easy. Are you prepared to... you ready, are you? OK, off you go.
Yeah, I'm ready to make my prediction now. I think South Africa could win this one.
Good on you. Bold. Half Duplessis again. Don't think he landed all that well there.
Well, in the last bits of fielding we've seen, the last 3 bits of fielding we've seen, he's been at long on. He was at extra cover with the attempted run out. Now he's at backward point, so he's pretty much covering every position on the field. Just 3 deliveries left of what has been an incredible spell from Morné Morkel. Might very well be a match-winning spell. 3 for 20. Quite incredible.
Well, be a man of the match winning spell. There's a few people to consider. Morkel being one of them. Morkel Kallis being another, who walked in at 0 for 1, the second ball of the game, and played quite a beautiful innings in terms of not only class but the number of balls faced. JP Duminy, who's bowled very well and got himself another 50 here. David Miller, who was in that partnership with Duminy, another 100 partnership. To hurry. Duplessis again. Almost had time to have a little aim at that as well. It's a wry smile, which you can do when you know you're winning the match.
He's actually given himself a little bit of extra time to take aim, and he's missed. Well, he'll hit soon enough.
That single ball up to 200. 200 for 8. 3 overs to go and 1 ball. Up in the air, high in the air, will be caught and is. Morkel gets his 4th. 10 overs, 4 for 22 for Morné Morkel.
It's been an incredible spell of bowling from the fast bowler. 4 for 22. Doug Bollinger looking to go over mid-off, who was up in the ring. JP Duminy, safe pair of hands, takes the catch. So Bollinger is gone for 6. Australia 200 for 9.
200 for 9. Steyn now. Low one. It's been a very difficult pitch for Boucher to handle as a wicket keeper. Pat Cummins, the new player, the non-striker's end.
Last man to go, Doug Bollinger. Really, all in vain. Safely held by JP Dimon. Oh, good shot from Doherty. It'll only be one, but it was beautifully timed.
St George's Park in full voice. Face Dale Steyn. Be called a wide.
Still nothing from the South African fast bowlers. I really thought they were going to be dropping a few short of a length to the
bouncers, you mean?
That's exactly what I mean.
Disciplined performance too. Short run up from Steyn. From South Africa. There have just been 7 extras in this innings, compared with the 28 in Australia bowled. So it's quite a decent score, 28.
Some good backing up. Duplessis again, but he just misfielded it and they got through for a second.
.48 gone, 205 for 9. Morne Morkel 4 for 22, 4 for 21 is best performance in ODIs against the West Indies. Sotsolby was tidy again, 2 for 32. Buerta 1 for 42 in his 10. Steyn got off to a poor start but dragged it back very well. And Duminy to bowl the 49th over. Just tantalisingly over the head of Amla. And now with this series squared up, is mouth-watering prospect for Kingsmead next Friday. Amazing, these two teams. They squared up the T20s. That's beaten Boucher and will run away for 4 byes.
All byes it is. Very, very full from JP Duminy.
It's a good shot. Smith tidying up at long off. That got there very slowly indeed. He still managed to play what used to be known in the old days as the draw. The ability to hit the ball between your legs. Apparently it was a proper shot. I don't know how you practiced it. And then the end of the over. 2:16 for 9, 1 to go. 2:16 for 9. Steyn. Just to go through the last rights here because the game is ostensibly over. South Africa have won it. And these two teams are one apiece with 1 to play.
Not many would have thought that he would be at third man in any form of the game. He is now, having relinquished the captaincy. AB de Villiers, who's injured at present, so Hashim Amla leads the South African one-day international team. Variations in pace from Steyn as well. And there's a little bit of variation of pace in the surface. Not easy.
Beautifully struck by Cummins through the covers for 4. Steyn over pitching. And he'll take a great deal of satisfaction from that, will young Pat Cummins.
And why not? There's many who believe a number 11 shouldn't be able to hit a cover drive like this. This is as good a shot as we've seen all evening. Off volley from Steyn. Beautifully executed from Cummins.
Maybe you will get that shorter of a length ball now. Yeah, you did. Didn't bounce much. Cummins was waiting for it.
And the pace of the surface is not anything like the one at Supersport Park the other night, where the Australians terrorised the South African lower order. But they will be a much happier camp, and they won't.
One ball to go. Australian flags mixed with the South African flags. It really is a carnival atmosphere here. It has been the whole evening. Out off the last ball. Hits it straight to backward point. Nicely caught, it has to be said, by JP Dumini, I think it is. Steyn picks up another wicket. Handshakes all round, but South Africa had dominated the match this evening, winning it by a huge margin.
There's been some wonderful performances within the South African camp. JP Dumini bowled well, batted well. Graham Smith got some much needed runs. Morkel Kallis as well. And the final wicket going to opening bowler Dale Steyn. Full toss. Doherty, who was eager for a little not out, hit it straight to backward point where Dumini took the catch.
A little short of November the 5th, but firework here and there doesn't hurt. Graham Smith found some form today in terms of certainly time at the crease. 69 deliveries for his 58. That was a much better performance from the top 6, and that's where South Africa will feel happy. And then they came out and they bowled with discipline. They bowled very well indeed, particularly Morné Walker, 4 for 22 in his 10 overs, but well supported by everybody else.
Michael, I guess what we saw over the last couple of games shows us there's plenty of cricket to go over the next month.
There certainly is, Mike. Unfortunately, we got outplayed in all facets of the game tonight. I thought South Africa showed us how to bat on a pretty slow wicket. They executed with the ball and they fielded much better than us. So, look, very disappointed with our performance. We've got a lot of work to do before Durban.
And I guess, you know these guys, that didn't surprise you.
No, not at all. I've said from the start, they're always going to be tough to beat anywhere in the world, but especially in their own backyard. And we know we have to perform at our best, and we certainly weren't that tonight.
You've had a couple of injury concerns, and again, Shane Watson, what's the news at the moment?
Well, very positive signs that he walked out and batted. I think that's a great sign for us. So I'm confident he'll be fine for Friday's match. I'm also confident Sean Marsh will be fine for Friday's match as well. So we're looking forward to being back full strength. But whatever 11 we put out in the field, we've got to perform better than we did today.
Okay, so 1-1 with the T20 series, and of course it's 1-1 at the moment. It's going to be a huge game on Friday.
It's a massive game for us, and like I said, we come here to win all 3 games. We're disappointing today, but we've got some work to do and hopefully perform better in Durban.
How difficult was it adjusting to the conditions today in Port Elizabeth?
I thought the wicket was pretty good. Like I say, it was a little bit slower, but I just don't think we executed our skills, like I say, all 3 facets of the game as well as we needed to against a good opposition.
Congratulations then to South Africa. And look at the match summary. They won the toss today, decided to bat first, 303 for 6. And all those who got the runs got mentions from the skipper and were spoken about. Australia, then 223 all out. Final delivery, getting a wicket. Dale Steyn, 2 for 57. But the pick of them, the man who was man of the match there, Morkel, 4 for 22. Tsotsobe, 2 for 32. Work also done by Botha with his 1 for 42. From St. George's in Port Elizabeth, thanks ever so much for watching. We'll catch you again soon. Good night.